and decisive action to put an end to the kind of chaos that disrupted the Dan Ryan Expressway. Emanuel responded it was a peaceful protest in a tweet to the governor and then asked the governor to delete his account. Thousands of protesters did march on the Dan Ryan Expressway Saturday, trying to draw attention to the city's gun violence and pressure public officials to try and do more. A 13-year-old girl who died after being caught in rip currents in Lake Michigan while swimming near a Chicago beach will be remembered tonight at a service on Loyola Beach. Chicago Tribune says Darian Torres was pronounced dead Friday night. Chicago Fire says Torres was pulled from the water along with another 13-year-old girl and a 43-year-old man who helped rescue the second girl. The girls were among a group of teens who were swimming near Loyola Beach when the rip currents caught the girls. The National Weather Service had warned beachgoers to stay out of the water on Friday. Gas prices around the state are up slightly to begin the week. AAA puts the statewide average at $2.95 a gallon, but you wouldn't know that if you pumped gas in the city of Chicago or in the suburbs. State's highest prices are in this area at $3.34 a gallon, while the state's low prices nearly everywhere else, $2.76 a gallon. Friends and family are mourning the passing of a Chicago television host, Clinton Gent. You may recall that name. He died Saturday night at the age of 78. Gent hosted the Chicago version of Soul Train for 9 years in the 1970s after close friend Don Cornelius moved to Los Angeles. Cubs stunned the Reds in 10 innings, 6-5. Dallas Keuchel tossed 7 innings of one-run ball, helped the Astros edge the White Sox 2-1 in Houston, handing the tough luck loss to Lucas Giolito, who pitched into the 8th. A trio of Cubs and one White Sox slugger on the All-Star teams. Jose Abreu headed to the game for the White Sox. Cubs catcher Wilson Contreras and second baseman Javi Baez will start for the NL, joined by teammate John Lester. Zach LaVine staying in Chicago, a big free agency deal now complete. Bulls matching a 4-year, $80 million offer sheet that LaVine signed with the Sacramento Kings. The news, a service of Unbound.org. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer, an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at Unbound.org. 5:07. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's become a summer tradition. Rockin' for the Troops returns this summer on July 14th at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva, home of the Kane County Cougars. Don't miss this year's lineup featuring Seventh Heaven, Ayla Brown, Rocky Lynn, The Voices, and Ryan Weaver. Proceeds will benefit Operation Support Our Troops America. Get your tickets today at rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org.
Email phishing attacks cost businesses billions annually in real cash, data loss, and brand damage. Phishing emails are hard to detect because the messages appear to be legitimate to unsuspecting employees. Introducing Barracuda Phishline, a groundbreaking cloud-based solution designed to help employees recognize sophisticated email phishing attacks through interactive training reinforced by continuous simulation. Transform your employees from a liability into a line of defense. Go to barracuda.com/PL to learn more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
5:10. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. We welcome back Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks so much. We have a crash on I-65 southbound right near State Road 2 in Lowell. It's been there for a while. It has the right lane blocked. We're not seeing any backup. Inbound Ryan Expressway at 79th. Crash just reported. Fire activity still remains active after a blaze. The 5300 block of South Wood, the south side, staging at the corner of 53rd and Wood. Downtown, Columbus, Congress, and Jackson remain blocked off for Taste of Chicago. Those closures are until next Monday, the 16th. And starting today, the Tri-State Tollway northbound at Irving Park will have ramp closures. The on-ramps from both directions of Irving Park will close until the end of this year. In Chicago, Geico now has even more ways to save you money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need with the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or call 773-582-8888. Kevin, your local Geico agent. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
More humid with a full day of sunshine today, high 92. Patchy clouds for the night, low 72. Breezy and less humid with some clouds followed by sunshine tomorrow, high 86. And at night, turning out to be partly cloudy with a low tomorrow night, 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
67 at this moment at O'Hare, 71 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Excuse me. Hope you enjoyed your July 4th Independence Day weekend, long week in the case of Amy.
Right. Well, I had my mother-in-law passed away from cancer.
Very sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but she wanted me to be there. So thank goodness that Debbie, Jeff Reisman, Marcus, you guys were okay with me leaving. And it was. I've learned a lot about the death process. She wanted to do it her way, and she did it her way. She didn't want to be in a hospital. She wanted to be at home. So she died peacefully. Didn't complain ever. Was ready to meet her Maker. Ready to meet the Lord. So.
Well, there's some solace in that for sure.
Yes.
Well,
and what did you do for the 4th of July?
Hung out, played a little golf.
I noticed you have a new golf shirt on there.
It's not new.
Oh, it's from Los Cabos. Oh, golf courses that you guys didn't invite me to on our trip.
We played at this. You played that course at Los Cabos.
Because
it's the only course they played at Cabo.
Oh, that's right. That was in Cancun where I got big-footed.
The Mind. It's the second thing to go.
Or did I ever really have it?
Over the weekend, of course. The big event, not Independence Day.
No.
The big event was
fireworks on the Dan Ryan.
Yeah, the Dan Ryan shutdown, and let's see, the totals are in from the weekend, and 5 dead, 35 wounded. So apparently, those individuals involved in that violence were not apprised of the Dan Ryan shutdown. Otherwise, they would have known the war was over, because this was the shutdown of the Dan Ryan to end Chicago violence.
Right.
And when Father Flager and Jesse Jackson Sr. say they're going to do something, well, by gosh, they do it.
But they were originally scheduled to have one lane for the protest. So it was supposed to be one lane inbound Dan Ryan from 79th to 67th, but that wasn't good enough. They needed more, so they took over the entire 5 lanes of the Dan Ryan. It's one of the busy expressways in the country.
Yeah, well, so
The traffic
the name
backups
of the
are
march,
hours long.
The name of the march was not shut down one lane on the Dan Ryan. It was shut down the Dan Ryan. So that's what they're going to do, make a break.
We made them clear we are coming to shut down the Dan Ryan. We are not settling for anything less.
Yeah, they will not settle for anything less.
And they didn't.
We need an aggressive plan. If there's not an aggressive plan to help equalize the south and the west side to the north side, then we'll get ready for another civil disobedience.
And that's why. So spin the wheel and pick your next expressway. I'd probably go.
We've already shut down Lakeshore Drive. That's old.
No, I mean, it's got to be an expressway. I'd go probably. I go maybe the Kennedy.
Oh, don't touch my Kennedy.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to shut down the Kennedy next. I don't know. I mean, I'm open to 290 out to the Reagan, but probably the Kennedy. I think.
You think? Nah.
I think that should be next.
Maybe by the junction, so you can get into Little Edens there too. Yeah.
Did this disrupt your trip? I mean, it's a lot of moving vans making their way to Northwest Indiana on the Dan Ryan. So I wonder if this disrupted anybody's trip to their new homes in Northwest Indiana from Chicago. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
And Superintendent Johnson, he was the one who asked Illinois State Police to help out with the shutdown. And he marched with the protesters. And so did Tiny Dancer, because, they're down with the struggle.
There's no question about it. Tiny Dancer green-lighted the shutdown of the Dan Ryan, where people are trying to forge some kind of compromise with the Flagger and the crew. Tiny Dancer gave them the full green light. And it's interesting to note, just in terms of how orchestrated this may have been. Mm-hmm. Father Flagger and Tiny Dancer have history. History like in 2015, 4 years ago, when Flagger backed Rahm for mayor.
Oh.
After he was endorsed, was Tiny Dancer by an anti-gun group, Father Flagger sent out a missive saying, among other things, the mayor's work on violence, fighting for stronger gun laws, and the city's new gun ordinance is a critical step in leading the fight for our youth. Rahm has stood up for our neighbors and our children. Chicago institutions that have been around for hundreds of years have endorsed him. They know we can be a better city. So maybe because Rahm has no street cred in the community, this was Rahm prompting Flagger to do this little spectacle for the purposes of then setting up Flagger to re-endorse Rahm for some street cred in that community, at least a segment at least of which he needs,
so
African American community, for re-election come the winter of next year.
Well, see, I mean, and then too, I understand why they wanted this. I mean, gun violence, the number of homicides is crazy. This is one woman who just turned 30.
I just turned 30 yesterday, and I've lost pretty much every friend I graduated high school with.
But the gun violence needs to stop. We need more gun laws. We need more money for these schools.
Yeah.
And they want infrastructure. They want manufacturing jobs. Father Flagger had a list of demands, things he wanted done.
No, we got their attention. Okay. Today we got their attention, and hopefully they saw the masses of people who got their attention. The next thing is the goal. Our young people sent letters to the governor and the mayor and all the candidates running for mayor and governor and said, sit down with us. We have ideas what you need to do. You tell us what you're going to do. We need an aggressive plan. If there's not an aggressive plan to help equalize the south and the west side to the north side.
Then he's going to shut down. Yeah.
What do we want? An aggressive plan. When do we want it? Sometime soon. What are we going to do? Send letters.
They're sending letters. I'm just letting you know.
What else are we going to do? Shut down another expressway. What else are we going to do? Offer up the same tired solutions that have been tried. It's a great rallying cry. Tom in Schaumburg.
Hey, let's follow the money. Rahm Emanuel had his point man, Forrest Claypool, calling Bruce Rauner a racist for 3 years straight before Rauner finally caved and gave hundreds of millions of dollars to Tiny Dancer for Chicago schools. Now he's got his other point man, Flagger, telling us that they need hundreds of millions of dollars for enterprise zones, and that's going to end the violence in Chicago. Is there anything other than money here?
No, but it's not. It's the money. It's the money from the government as a means of government control of territories that are already government controlled. West Side and South Side are wholly owned government enterprises. And the lives of most of the people in those communities are completely dependent on the government. So we want more of that. Bob in Buffalo Grove.
Thanks for taking my call. Sorry to hear about your loss to your mother-in-law, Amy. I'd shut down 190. Do you know what 190 is?
Yeah. Around O'Hare.
Yeah, and O'Hare. And then let people have to take the CTA in O'Hare. That ought to create a lot of chaos.
All right.
But
maybe you can be a consultant to Flagler, Bob.
Take it to the street,
yeah,
Bob.
Get some of that cash.
Or they could take down the CTA and 190.
Tom in Deer Park.
Oh, good morning, Dan and Amy. Listen, this time I'm really worried. If you know what hedonic adaptation is.
Hedonic adaptation. Yeah.
That was the name of your elementary school band.
No, it's a resort in Jamaica.
That's the notion in human nature that when you do something, the thrill of doing it reduces every time you do it. In other words, a tolerance to drugs or something like that. You need more and more and more. And this is why I'm truly concerned for Father Flagler. I'm wondering, after shutting down the Dan Ryan, to your point, what's next? I'm concerned maybe he's going to take it to a bigger stage, possibly go to D.C. and scale the Washington Monument, or maybe even do self-immolation after that.
Self-immolation.
That would be the last caper. So that's why I'm concerned for him.
Self-immolation. Okay, thanks. She's going to go full Buddhist monk sort of thing.
I don't know if he could scale the...
By the way, just on the money front, too, just so we understand, right, the per-people expenditures in CPS have gone up at a 45-degree angle. Actually, if anything, when it comes to employment, the employment picture for blacks and Latinos in Chicago, like the rest of the country, is at sort of historic bests.
Right.
So there must be something else going on. One of the things that Father Flagler misunderstands, and those of his same thinking, is that poverty equals violence. There is a very weak correlation between socioeconomic status and violence. Very weak. So no, as I say often on this show, but I know I'm the racist, no, most of the people on the South and West Sides are law-abiding, even though they don't have resources, even though they're not wealthy or even stable financially in most cases, low household incomes. That doesn't make you a lawbreaker. People have that wrong. The evidence is clear. Father Flagler is a demagogue. So is Jesse Jackson Sr., obviously. So is Tiny Dancer. But it's a demagoguery that denigrates the people they say they're there to represent. Because you're poor, you're more likely to be a criminal. Not true. That's not the problem. The problem is, the main problem in Chicago, is we have repeat violent offenders that are not prosecuted and or incarcerated. And that's also something that Father Flagler and Jesse Sr. and Tiny Dancer and Kim Fox, that's also something they have no interest in doing. Incarcerating repeat violent offenders. And we can give you case after case, if we've done on this show. There's a good piece in City Journal that provides a couple more examples more recently of that problem. So on the one hand, they're minimizing the law-abiding nature of this constituency, the parishioners in St. Sabina. They're infantilizing them for the purposes of bringing government in to run their lives for them. And on the other hand, the actual predators in the neighborhood that would make the neighborhood safer, were they prosecuted and incarcerated, well, open the jail cells and don't put anybody new in. Ron on the South Side.
Hey, Dan, you right on point. And see, Eddie Johnson has stated that. See, so you know what? That's all he had to do was tell Father Flagler and the rest of those phonies that's what the problem is. But another thing you mentioned, I heard him on the radio station down the aisle last week, and he was asked, well, didn't you support Rami? Man, you know what he said? Oh, yeah, I kind of fell for the sweater. Man, this ain't nothing but three-card Monte. This is just a big game. And lastly, one thing I will agree with him, when he said demonstrations bring about change, you know what? That's on to get rid of him and the rest of that garbage down this city council. Have a good day.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, demonstrations bring about change when there's moral high ground to be had. That's the difference. This isn't the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement had the moral high ground. There's no moral high ground here. It's a den of thieves, which is why I've suggested, and my candidate for mayor is Father Pfleger.
Oh.
I mean, he's just another politician in this mix. That's what he is. Let's have him run for mayor. Because the one thing that Pfleger does, even when he's doing the bidding of Tiny Dancer, is he freaks out and he exposes the cowardice of the C-suiters and all those self-styled civic leaders in Chicago, as well as the entire wannabe tough guy political class, little guys like Rahm. And it's fun to watch. It's about the only pleasure you can extract from our politics or city governance. Joe in Hoffman Estates.
I think that a great thing that they could do is if Father Pfleger, Tiny Dancer, and pretty much most of the city council, and then the whole group that was out there in the Dan Ryan went out in the middle of the night and swam across Lake Michigan. And this way they could stop boats that are coming in and set a precedent.
Sure, take the protests, air, water. Yeah, very good, Joe. That's a good idea. We forgot about the other means or transportation
the other hotspots in Chicago,
channels.
right? Yeah.
So we got to shut down the Chicago River. We got to shut down
Lake Michigan.
Shut down the Chicago Yacht Club. We start there, and then we got to shut down rail.
Oh, is that right?
And then
Metro.
Then they have to do some kind of like Golden Knights parachuting formation to shut down the flight patterns at O'Hare and Midway. Good idea, Joe. Thanks.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
You deserve an expert to help you with your next home mortgage, and we have them at Townstone Financial. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone. I continue to get calls and emails from homeowners whose interest rates are above current levels. Please do yourself a favor. Take 1 minute, dial 312-896-2110, or go to townstone.com so we can give you some no closing costs refinancing options. No closing costs means no hidden costs. I guarantee it, and I own the company. Let's pay off some of those high-interest credit cards with a lower rate. And anyone who has an FHA mortgage or one with private mortgage insurance definitely needs to call so we can lower your monthly payments due to the recent increase in home values. Also, if your home is worth less than what you owe, we still have the government HARP program, which will allow you to refinance and save money. Remember, you don't have to restart your home loan at 30 years or 15. We can customize the payback period. The call is free and so is my time. So dial 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com. Townstone Financial is an Illinois mortgage licensee, 6629 and MLS 136639.
Have you heard? President Trump, our 45th president, sleeps on a MyPillow. Isn't that great, Dan? Don't you want one now?
No wonder he's always so spry and high energy.
Mike Lindell, that's what he says. The MyPillow guy was at his rally in Fargo last month, and the president recognized him and endorsed MyPillow on national TV. I love that I can move the fill, though, to get the support I need regardless of sleep position. Never waking up with a stiff neck or headache. MyPillow is made in America, washable, dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go online now for the buy one, get one free offer because it's back for the month of July. MyPillow.com. Type in Amy, buy one, get one free. There's also a great 30% offer off of everything else, including the MyPillow mattress toppers I've been telling you about, as well as pet beds, sheets, and much more. Find it all. MyPillow.com, or call, 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
If you feel like you could get more use out of your smartphone and tablet, don't feel alone. It's hard to keep up with ever-changing technology. Now there's an easy way for anyone to master the latest smartphone and tablet. User manuals and how-to guides made for beginners from beginnermanuals.com. Guidebooks that are made for the beginner and approved and recommended by over 100 senior associations in the United States. They teach all the basics with high-quality illustrations and step-by-step instructions for all the fundamental and important tasks on your smartphone or tablet. These easy-to-understand guides are just 100 pages long. In just one sitting, you'll be able to use your device completely, confidently, and easily. BeginnerManuals.com has manuals for both Apple and Android devices. devices, including the iPhone, iPad, and Galaxy. Go to beginnermanuals.com and for a limited time, get 20% off and free shipping. That's beginnermanuals.com for 20% off and free shipping.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A+ rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, a fifth soccer player has been saved from that cave in Thailand. We'll tell you the latest.
And we'll give you an update on more of the left's random acts of civility at 5:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Good morning to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 67 degrees. Several news agencies are reporting that a fifth child has been brought out of a flooded cave in Thailand. Divers rescued 4 boys yesterday, more than 2 weeks after 12 members of that soccer team and their coach were trapped in that cave complex in northern Thailand. Police in Britain are opening a murder investigation into the death of a woman and her boyfriend, exposed to the same nerve agent used in the poisoning of an ex-Russian spy. Dawn Sturgis died Sunday after being hospitalized in southern England after coming in contact with the Russian nerve agent Novichok. Japan's government says Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has canceled a planned July 11 through 18 trip to Europe and the Middle East to oversee the emergency response to deadly heavy rains there. 103 have died or are presumed dead from the heavy rains, according to rescue officials. Mudslides have struck large parts of western Japan. 80 are unaccounted for in thick fields of mud near Hiroshima. A passenger train derailed in northwest Turkey after heavy rain, killing 24 and injuring more than 300 others. Nissan says this morning it did alter the results of exhaust emissions and fuel economy testing of new vehicles sold in Japan. It's the latest misconduct to surface at the Japanese automaker. Harvey Weinstein, who previously was indicted on charges involving 2 women, was due in court later today for arraignment on charges alleging he committed a sex crime against a third woman. But an updated indictment unveiled early this morning alleges the movie mogul turned Me Too villain performed a forcible sex act on a woman in 2006. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says there's progress being made in denuclearizing North Korea. Speaking in Tokyo over the weekend after 2 days of meetings in Pyongyang, Pompeo says the high-pressure negotiations are productive.
We intended to build upon the agreements made by President Trump and Chairman Kim, and we made progress.
Here in this country, Senator Doug Jones is one Democrat who says he's very open to voting for President Trump's Supreme Court nominee.
I don't think my role is a rubber stamp for the president, but it's also not an automatic knee-jerk no either.
Senator Dick Durbin says he and other more liberal Democrats are concerned with the president's pick.
Obviously, each senator understands this as an historic decision. It'll decide the future of this court for a generation or more. And so I know they'll look carefully at each nominee.
The Illinois Democrat was on NBC's Meet the Press. Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones in 2015 is set to go on trial today, but this is a separate case. Officer Robert Rialmo faces 2 counts of misdemeanor battery stemming from a fight in a Northwest Side restaurant last December. Chicago firefighters remain on the scene of a large blaze in the Back of the Yards neighborhood. Fire broke out early this morning inside of a building and spread to 2 others near 53rd and Wood. And this morning, an Aurora police officer is recovering after crashing into a local auto shop. The officer was responding to a burglary when a car turned in front of him on East New York Street in Aurora. His vehicle then slammed into an auto service and tire shop. Cubs took down the Reds in 10 innings, 6-5. The Astros beat the White Sox 2-1 in Houston. The news a service of Compassion International. You can't change the whole world, but you can be part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty by becoming a Compassion International child sponsor. You can choose a child to sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. That's compassion.com/radio. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees a win for the Republicans in November if we take some advice.
With this new era of confrontation
that seems justified by a lot of people on the left.
Here's what I'm concerned about. I'll be very blunt. I don't want us to be like them. As long as we're not like them, we're going to beat them where it counts, and that's on November 6th.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Building owners and managers. Now is the perfect time of year for a service and maintenance agreement with Waukegan Roofing. Since 1914, Waukegan Roofing has been installing and maintaining roofs you can rely on for all of Chicagoland. Our experienced team of professional service technicians is the right solution for preserving the integrity of your new or existing roofing system for years to come. With your dedicated service technician and our multi-point inspection program, we cover all areas of your roof from early detection to preventative maintenance to repairs and everything in between. We're the licensed commercial roofing contractor you can rely on for all your roofing needs. Building owners and managers, now is the time to prepare your low-slope commercial roof for everything that Mother Nature throws at it this year. Call Waukegan Roofing today for your service and maintenance appointment at 877-ROOF-201. That's 877-ROOF-201. Or visit us online at waukeganroofing.com. Waukegan Roofing, installing roofs you can rely on since 1914.
Illinois licensee 104000761.
It is 5:37. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's near north side, North Avenue is closed between Larrabee and Vine due to a major crash. Hedon's looks good at this hour. There is some traffic at O'Hare affecting westbound 190. Slow from the Kennedy Expressway to the Tri-State. A little heavy on the outbound Kennedy approaching that area. The inbound Kennedy still okay. About Eisenhower tight around 25th. 30 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 29. Stevenson, 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 18 minutes, 8094 to Merge. Traffic, service of Unbound.org. When you sponsor through Unbound, you not only open the door to education for a young person, you empower a family to build a foundation of financial stability, empowerment, respect. See your contribution grow into opportunity at Unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Hot and humid today. Plenty of sunshine, though. High 92. Patchy clouds. More humid overnight. Low 72. Nice day shaping up for tomorrow. Less humidity and sunshine. And a high of 86. 67 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Well, over the long holiday weekend, you had a lot of random acts of civility offered up by the left to improve our political discourse. We'll get to that in a second, but got a couple of flagger stragglers here. Bob on the southwest side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Okay, I'll make it very, very fast. There's a few things I want to say.
Okay.
I might belong to a Catholic church on the southwest side of Midway Airport. I went to the noon mass. The pastor said, "Please, whatever you do," because I know him well, but don't complain. I've had so many people at the earlier masses saying they're not going to donate anymore to the Catholic Church because of the civil disobedience, Father. But the Catholic Church doesn't teach civil disobedience, and he mentioned it 2 or 3 times. The police commissioner, because he said civil disobedience, the policemen are out there to protect us. If he says civil disobedience for the next round of stuff he's going to do, it's crazy. And I want to ask you a question, Dan. Where do they get the money for all these buses?
Yeah.
And we called the Catholic Church on Friday, and we asked, how do they afford all this stuff? Well, we have a special fund. Why the Catholic Church always preaches giving money to the poor people? We have boxes for the poor. Why does this money go to the poor people? And my last question is, these marches have not done one darn thing. I don't have any relatives that are policemen, but I have a lot of friends. Okay, and they all say if they only would let them have the police stop every car and disregard all the stupid cameras that are taking pictures. One policeman said to me at church Sunday, he said, "Bob, the problem is the news media doesn't show what happens to the policeman before. They always show what the policeman does, never what happens before."
Right.
All right.
Well, they also too. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but also
Thanks
too,
for the
not
call,
one
Bob.
local station, because I came home and I was poring over their websites. No one interviewed the people that were stuck in traffic. It was a parking lot that went on for miles, and nobody cared. They walked 1.5 miles, so that protest lasted well over an hour.
Well, the resources
Nobody cares
too.
about that.
If you saw the pictures of the taxpayer resources with respect to police
Oh, my
and all the vehicles that were out there in the time, yeah, I mean,
Well,
but
people who were off on furlough had to go back to work.
there's no price too high for us to pay though for political spectacles here. Just as we're happy to pay for the Obama Land tennis and racquetball club or whatever it is.
The green space on the roof. I'm really looking forward to that.
I know he said we weren't going to pay for it. We're happy to pay for it. We're happy to pay for the spectacle and the Dan Ryan. Happy to do it.
I wonder how much money it did cost taxpayers.
And now, not only are we happy to do it, you had Cardinal Supich celebrating it. He released a statement. "I applaud the courage shown by young people in our city and across the country demanding their right to life and human dignity, given by God and guaranteed by our nation's founders. They make us proud. They give us hope. I encourage them to be bold and undaunted in pressing their case and securing real change to have the peace and security they have every right to expect. They're demanding the right to life and human dignity." Cardinal Supich, I know you're a man of the left. How are your fellow travelers on the left when it comes to the right to life? Let us all join together as Illinois citizens to pray for the success of their cause and pray for the safety of all on Saturday, the marchers, the motorists, and those sworn to protect them. What about in the neighborhoods where 5 are dead and 35 more are wounded over the weekend?
Yeah, it didn't stop the violence, didn't stop the homicides from happening. Also, who blessed the march? The Parkland shooting survivors. David Hogg and Emma Gonzalez.
Boy, that's the
saying
highest
the Dan
order.
Ryan in Capitals. The Dan Ryan is currently being shut down. I'm so proud.
It's a high honor to be thought of, Cardinal Supich, in the and to be mentioned in the same breath as one David Hogg.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And again, no price in terms of human life that's too high for us to pay for virtue signaling leftists that are financed by taxpayers to have their spectacles.
Well, what do you also, I wanted to pick your brain about the Twitter spat between Governor Ronner and Mayor Emanuel. Do you not care about it?
Who
Well,
cares?
Governor Ronner, he said, "I'm disappointed in the mayor." There was an agreement in place, a plan.
I don't care about a pillow fight between two hack politicians. That's what that is.
But they painted Ronner as a racist because he's just
Whatever.
standing up for law and order.
Steve, Ronner couldn't be weaker. The only, he and his wine club buddy compete to see who is the most spineless, gutless, pathetic politician in Illinois. So they're having a Twitter peeing match. They put their jumpers on and they started throwing pillows around. Who cares? These guys are pathetic. Pathetic. The only difference is one is actually deriving a political benefit from this, as I mentioned when we were talking about this earlier, perhaps because Father Flager is once again doing Tiny Dancer's bidding, even though he's speaking truth to power. What Flager has done in the past is genuflect before power on the left.
And our last caller talked about, financing. I heard from one of my sources that St. Sabina is a cash cow. It's a moneymaker that every Sunday they get between $25,000 to $30,000. from their parishioners.
Big deal.
When they pass around the coffers.
Well,
that's one of the reasons why they say they don't shut it down.
Well, give me a break. The sad thing is, it has nothing to do with the money. It's all about politics and about image. But the sad thing is that you have Father Pfleger taking that money from parishioners on the south side that support the parish and using it in advance of policies that further marginalize those parishioners. Mike on the north side.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. My daughter's a high school senior at a Catholic high school in the city. She just finished her service week. Every summer, she's got to go live at one of the convents on the south side, and a bus comes and picks them up, and they go to a different school every day and clean it up. Now, why couldn't these people, if they were so interested in their community, do something in the community instead of this spectacle? Now, I don't think anybody who's driving the Dan Ryan every day through Chicago are the people that are coming and committing the crimes in their neighborhood. I don't think it's the Trump supporters who are coming and committing the crimes in their neighborhood. Who are committing the crimes? I think it's the Rahm Emanuel and the Pritzker and the Obama and the Hillary supporters that are doing it. Look at yourself. Don't ask for more money from the government.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Speaking of random acts of civility, elevating our political discourse, there's no violence at the Dan Ryan shutdown, but that's not the case around the country. This went viral. This 30-year-old in San Antonio at a Whataburger out in the San Antonio region goes up to a 16-year-old and who is wearing a MAGA hat, and this happened.
Oh.
You ain't supporting shit, nigga.
Okay.
It's gonna go great in my fireplace.
All right, have fun with it.
So that 30-year-old Kino Jimenez of San Antonio took off this kid's hat, threw a drink in his face, and then used the N-word to refer to him. He was identified on through the video that went viral because this kid's friend who got his MAGA hat stolen videoed part of it. He's been charged with felony theft after the incident.
Good.
He also lost his job at a local bar due to the incident, and he was disowned by the political party to which he affiliates.
Which is?
The Green Party of Texas.
No, not that.
No.
Okay.
Now, for his part, the kid, who is the victim in this case, this teenager named Hunter Richard, saying that Jimenez can keep the hat, and he said that he'd be happy to speak with Jimenez to see if they can forge some common ground. So there's one random act of civility here locally on July 3rd.
Yeah, what happened?
You had a brick thrown through the headquarters of Wheeling Township's Republican Party. That's your neck of the woods.
Dan Patlack, okay.
Dan Patlack was not injured.
And his wife?
By the brick.
I love the Patlack.
Kathy Penner, the committee.
Is everybody okay?
It was the night of July 3rd, so nobody was there. But threw a brick through the
we'll show them,
Wheeling Township GOP window. Mm-hmm. So you had that. By the way, Kino...
Is there any note attached to it?
No. Kino Jimenez, they did file a police report, though.
Good.
Kino Jimenez, the 30-year-old man who roughed up this 16-year-old kid and stole his hat, that says a lot about the left, too, said that the hat, him seeing the hat is like seeing a Ku Klux Klan hood.
Oh, please.
So that's why he
needed to
was
save
compelled
space,
to do it.
yeah.
Also this, Suffolk County Police arrested a man in upstate New York who made a terrorist threat against a campaign worker at Congressman Lee Zeldin's campaign headquarters. Martin Astroff was arrested after he threatened to kill supporters of Congressman Lee Zeldin as well as President Trump. So he was charged with felony, reckless endangerment, second degree, making a terrorist threat. He was arraigned over the weekend. And then, of course, Steve Bannon was out and about.
Oh, yeah. What's he doing? How's his complexion? Is he looking healthier these days?
I haven't seen it, but he got accosted just verbally at a bookstore in Virginia, Black Swan Books. A woman came up to him and said, "You're a piece of garbage. You're a piece of trash," and The bookstore owner called the police. So that's just a little bit of a smattering from across the country.
Things are getting better.
And the left's random acts of civility.
That's our segment.
Random acts
of civility.
Random acts of civility. Underwritten
By Dan and Amy.
And underwritten by Congressman Maxine Waters.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. 60 seconds of sanity commentaries from yours truly, long-form interviews in our Against the Current series, podcasts of our Illinois Rising program that covers state politics and policy, Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. Our Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments, as well as Heart of the Matter, our series that features professional women discussing the important issues of the day and their impacts on household budgets and family life. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, where you get a free property tax report on your home, as well as updated home sales information in your neighborhood and community. So all the property tax and home sales info is at defendhomeowners.com, and everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
I was diagnosed with diabetic.
High blood pressure. High cholesterol.
Terrible acid reflux.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Wouldn't you rather be healthy, energetic, and fit? I'm Dennis Black. 10 years ago here in Dallas, I developed a Texas-sized solution to America's health crisis.
TexasSuperfood.com.
I make my Texas Superfood from 55 raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables.
Alfalfa leaf, aloe vera, apples, asparagus, raspberry, spinach, all of the nutrients.
You know, it's been barely a week, and already my skin is better.
I lost 60 pounds. I mean, that's huge.
Since I've been on Superfood, I haven't been sick.
It's borderline shocking how much energy I have.
Thousands of people take my Texas Superfood every day. Join us on TexasSuperfood.com.
TexasSuperfood.com.
Or call 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. 877-55-TEXAS. Or
TexasSuperfood.com.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. You're welcome, America. And that's not a statement a resident of Illinois gets to make very often with sincerity. But the nation owes a debt of gratitude to two Illinoisans who advance the cause of liberty for millions more Americans through their courage to dissent. Pam Harris and Mark Janis are their names. Pam is the mother of a young man with developmental disabilities who resisted SEIU's attempt to force parents of children with disabilities into its union, literally pitting parents against their children. Pam took her case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in her favor in 2014. That set the table for Mark Janis, a child support specialist for the state of Illinois who challenged his forced membership in and financing of AFSCME. Mark took his case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in his favor in June. Without Harris, there would have been no Janis. Without Janis, public sector workers in 22 states would still be second-class citizens with respect to their First Amendment rights. Courage begets courage. As I know them both, I can tell you what they would say about the history they've made. Don't worry about remembering our names. Focus instead on emulating our example.
Email phishing attacks cost businesses billions annually in real cash, data loss, and brand damage. Phishing emails are hard to detect because the messages appear to be legitimate to unsuspecting employees. Introducing Barracuda Phishline, a groundbreaking cloud-based solution designed to help employees recognize sophisticated email phishing attacks through interactive training reinforced by continuous simulation. Transform your employees from a liability into a line of defense. Go to barracuda.com/PL to learn more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Looking to refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Bill's family was cruising until he loaded $50,000 on his credit cards to cover expenses after his income was cut in half. Stressed out and living paycheck to paycheck, Bill called Team Hochberg for a free consultation. We consolidated Bill's credit cards into a 30-year fixed loan, credited all his closing costs, and reduced his payments over $1,400 a month. Bill was stressed out before calling and saved over $16,000 a year after calling Team Hochberg. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck like Bill and would like to see if refinance can lower your monthly payment, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com.
Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
With $226 million in dividends declared since inception, their record speaks for itself. At MagMutual, one of the leading providers of medical professional liability insurance, you're more than a policyholder, you're a policy owner. As an owner, they believe you should benefit from your company's success, which is why they strive to return as much as they can back to their policy owners. MagMutual policyholders have received annual dividends every year since 2007, and they are continually looking for ways to provide greater value to policy owners in the practice, business, and regulation of medicine. In addition, they set aside millions on their financial statements exclusively for their Owner Circle loyalty program. Over 20,000 physicians and healthcare organizations are currently benefiting from MagMutual ownership. Are you? Visit them on the web at magmutual.com.
For more information about MagMutual in Illinois, please contact Andy Baskell at the Horton Group at 708-473-2518 or by email at andy.baskell@thehortongroup.com. Visit their website at thehortongroup.com.
Sunrise, 67 degrees, 5:57 on AM 560, The Answer. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic's heavy around O'Hare. First on the outbound Kennedy, got a jam. Montrose to Cumberland. There's a crash. 2 right lanes are now blocked, and it's heavy on 190 in both directions near the airport. The outbound Kennedy is 55 minutes downtown to O'Hare with that jam starting at Montrose, inbound 22 minutes. Eisenhower 38 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson 45 minutes, 355 to the drive. The Rhine is open and it's 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic, service of unbound.org. In places around the world, there are elders who long for community, connection, and the opportunity to live with greater dignity. Sponsor an elder through Unbound and help bring a brighter tomorrow. One person who's helped us all build a better world. Meet one at unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, hot and more humid with a full day of sunshine. High 92. Humid tonight with patchy clouds, low 72. Some clouds, then sunshine tomorrow, high 86. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 67 at O'Hare. The news is a service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. You can help put an end to the Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis by joining Team Challenge. It's the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation's endurance training program. Run, walk, cycle, hike, or complete a triathlon and get closer to the ultimate finish line. Cures. Visit ccteamchallenge.org to learn more. 5:59 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Here are the stories we're following this morning. Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones in 2015 is set to go on trial today in a separate case. Firefighters are on the scene of a massive blaze in Chicago's Back of the Yards neighborhood near 53rd and Wood. The NTSB continues to investigate the cause of a medical helicopter crash on Chicago's far south side Saturday night. Cubs beat the Reds 6-5 in Chicago. It took 10 innings of work. Astros edged the White Sox 2-1 in Houston. More Dan and Amy coming up after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time 6.
A fifth boy rescued from that cave in Thailand. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what a Royal Thai Navy official tells Reuters. An ambulance did leave the cave site, drove to a helicopter that flew off to Cheers, the same procedure as the rescue of the first 4 trapped boys.
They are in isolation, and that is standard protocol. Anytime people spend, more than 2 weeks inside a cave, they want to make sure these boys are healthy and that they can be reunited with their family as quickly as possible.
Fox's Jeff Paul outside the hospital. 7 boys and their soccer coach still remain in the cave, but they hope to get them out soon, fearing more rain could cause more flooding. In Japan, they're searching through thick mud, looking for dozens of people missing after floods and landslides killed at least 100 other people in the Hiroshima area. President Trump will make his Supreme Court pick in prime time tonight. He's down to 4 possible nominees.
And they're excellent, everyone. You can't go wrong. But I'm getting very close to making a final decision.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Here's the president's final choices. Judge Amy Coney Barrett of Chicago, a devout Catholic. She would become the 4th female justice sitting on the high bench. Judge Raymond Kethledge of Cincinnati was once a law clerk for the retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy. So was Judge Brett Kavanaugh of Washington, D.C. Judge Thomas Hardiman, seen as a runner-up to Justice Neil Gorsuch last year, also in the mix. He was the first one in his family to go to college, and he put himself through law school driving a taxi. Dave?
Rachel, the Senate's Democratic leader has said he'd oppose any of those conservatives, but 3 Democratic senators up for re-election in states the president won could be swing votes. They all supported the first Trump-appointed Justice Neil Gorsuch. Harvey Weinstein will be back in court in New York City this morning to face charges from a 3rd accuser. The disgraced ex-film producer's free on bail on rape and other charges involving 2 other women. Dozens of others have accused Weinstein of sexual misconduct. He claims it was all consensual. Fox News, fair and balanced.
As press secretary for President Trump, Sean Spicer had a front row seat to history. And in his new book, he reveals details about what really happened behind the scenes during the campaign and the early days of the administration. On Wednesday, August 8th, Sean Spicer is coming to Chicago. Meet Sean Spicer and get a copy of his new book, The Briefing, at the Museum of Broadcast Communications. Tickets are absolutely free. Thanks to healthinsurancementors.com. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/briefing. That's 560theanswer.com/briefing.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, the left is in fulmination over Trump's forthcoming SCOTUS pick, which he will announce in prime time tonight.
Yeah, 8 o'clock from the East Room.
Down to, it's perceived that we're down to 4 finalists. Hardiman, who is the
back up to Gorsuch, right?
Putative. Yeah, I mean, nobody really knows that, but that was sort of what was believed to be true.
Yeah, and he was a cab driver. His story is so fascinating.
Just like David Mamet.
Yeah, right. He was a cab driver, first person in his family to go to college. He didn't go to an Ivy League school, but yeah, reports are he was a backup to Gorsuch.
And then Amy Coney Barrett, whose Catholic faith lives loudly in her, and as Dershowitz said over the weekend, if she's the nominee, hey, left, you can thank Senator Difey for that after she made an issue of Amy Coney Barrett's faith when she was, during her confirmation hearing for the Seventh Circuit, the appellate court on which she currently sits as a judge.
Yeah, and people are ridiculing her because she's pro-life. She has 7 children, 5 of her own and 2 she adopted from Haiti.
Yeah.
But she lives in South Bend, Indiana, so there's reporters there because 3 of these 4 don't live in D.C., and their every move is being watched. So maybe she'll go to the grocery store today and people will perceive it as, oh, she's going to D.C.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, the 2 Haitian adoptees.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm a little confused. So Amy Coney Barrett and her husband live their faith. They adopt 2 children from Haiti to have a better life in this country, and she's excoriated. So I guess that the left just likes children from the Central America,
that's right,
when they are brought here illegally so they can be used as political mascots. They're not maybe so interested in the actual quality of life or the opportunity. It's just confusing to me, the disconnect. You would think that she would be celebrated for that because they're so concerned. I guess not.
Oh, no.
Leonard,
but also, too, Senator Orrin Hatch wrote an op-ed in the Desert News, and because he was talking about the progressives are going to be ripping on and attacking the Supreme Court nominee, and he used she and her. So that's why I think it's probably going to be her.
I think probably Orrin Hatch has no idea who it's going to be, but there have been people
he's not good with the pronouns.
There are people that are advocating for, the other 2 finalists, Kethledge and Kavanaugh as well. There are arguments and op-eds, dueling op-eds back and forth about a number of the finalists. Probably Hardiman has seen the least number of public supporters, but again, he was still vetted now twice, if you will. First when Gorsuch was ultimately the selection. Leonard Leo, who's sort of the point person for on leave from the Federalist Society to help Trump with this election, was on with Clinton Foundation Donor Zero over the weekend, and he explained what drives President Trump in this process.
What drives the president in this process is that he made the Supreme Court a huge issue in the election, more than any other presidential candidate. He greatly enthused voters over it, and it was one of the big factors that led to his election and holding the U.S. Senate. And so he kept that momentum going with Neil Gorsuch, and now he's got another opportunity to do it again.
Yeah, it seems sort of refreshing that what Leo is essentially saying drives President Trump in this process is the commitment he made as candidate Trump. It's kind of refreshing. And Leo also suggested that, look, the 4 names that we mentioned, there's not a bad pick among them.
Talk about Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Barrett, Thomas Hardiman, Raymond Kethledge, who I assume are the 4.
Those are the 4, yeah.
Look, they're all extraordinarily distinguished people. Certainly, Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Barrett have a lot of name recognition amongst supporters of the president, amongst people. And I think that ultimately, when people like them are nominated, you'll see a lot of folks line up.
Leo went on to explain, because the Federalist Society is, maybe not particularly well known outside of political circles and conservative circles, but he basically, since really Trump outsourced this putting together of the list during the campaign to Leo and the Heritage Foundation to some extent, but really Leonard Leo and the Federalist Society, what drives a Federalist Society, their purpose.
My goal, first and foremost, has always been to find people to serve on the court who believe in the Constitution as it's written. And that's really ultimately what drives the conservative legal movement. You want judges on the court who understand that the best way to preserve freedom and dignity and prosperity in this country is to have people who are going to interpret the Constitution as it's written and not play politics when they're judges.
And David Brooks, New York Times columnist, Obama's favorite Republican. Yeah, that tells you something. New York Times columnist, of course, but he was on with Ezra Klein on the PBS NewsHour with Judy Woodruff over the weekend, talking about the Federalist Society and these names that have been leveled up. Here's what Brooks said.
Well, it's like we got our old Republican Party back, because these three are not Trumpy people. They're pretty elite, pretty established. And it's a testament to the Federalist Society, which was a conservative legal society that started in the 1980s, designed to turn talent into judgeships. And they've done a fantastic job over the last several decades of producing just this funnel of talent that goes up to all the courts, but especially the Supreme Court. And so whoever the Republican president is, there's just this whole series of people who are well qualified, pretty temperate, well connected with each other, and they're just ready-made. And so it's made to order. It's not a Trumpy set of people. It's a very establishment set of conservative jurists.
And because of what David Brooks said, which I think that's right. By the way, I resuscitated the Federalist Society chapter at Loyola Law School.
Oh, you did?
So
do you want to do that in the last hour of the show today?
I have. Do I want to do what?
No,
resuscitate?
Yeah.
I deserve much of the credit for whoever the selection is.
Okay.
Basically, I just wanted to make sure that I get my due.
But who do you want to see? And also, you out there in the audience, 312-642-5600. Who do you want to be the next Supreme Court nominee?
Well, I will say this. I mean, I agree with what Leo said and what David Brooks said, which is why I think whoever it is going to get confirmed. It's going to be very hard to, gaslight enough senators, for the progressives to gaslight enough senators, particularly red state Democrats facing tough re-elections like Joe Donnelly next door in Indiana.
Heidkamp and Manchin.
Right.
But also
as well as Tester in Montana and others. And even, Collins.
Collins and Murkowski in Alaska. Right?
Well, Collins in Maine, Murkowski in Alaska, right. But Collins voted to confirm Amy Coney Barrett for the Seventh Circuit.
Right. Okay. So
if she's the nominee, and
they're saying those, if she's the nominee, those could be the two Republican holdouts.
Yeah, possibly over Roe, because the left is in full fulmination over Roe.
Well, Roe, and then also LGBTQZXYT.
Yeah, but it's really Roe.
Said that nobody on the list has demonstrated a commitment to giving a fair hearing to them.
This is about Roe. For the left, it's that's Roe v. Wade is a sacrament. Roe v. Wade is the left's raison d'etre, really. I mean, it really is for to a large extent. And so it was interesting to read this piece by Megan McArdle in Washington Post over the holiday weekend, who is pro-choice and so indicates, let Roe go. How can someone who calls herself pro-choice oppose Roe v. Wade? Let me count the ways. The decision itself is a poorly reasoned mess. It failed to mount a convincing case that the Constitution contains language that can be read as guaranteeing a woman's right to abort her pregnancy. The poor drafting quasi-accidentally left America with some of the most permissive abortion laws in the world, far beyond what most legislatures would permit if the matter were open to public debate. Today, the United States is one of only a handful of countries to allow elective abortions after the 20th week. All true. So this is somebody who at least is doing like second-level analysis. Here's my position. Here's my belief on the political issue. But here's also enough respect for the Constitution and our federalist representative republic form of government that I understand that because it was a poorly reasoned case, the idea that this should be open to public debate is one I support. And different states, if Roe v. Wade were overturned, different states will make different determinations on the permissiveness of abortion within their states, and that's sort of the model. And you can make the same case for the Obergefell decision, that op-ed that Kennedy wrote on the issue of redefinition of marriage. But it's just an interesting piece from Megan McArdle, who's a respected intellect, self-identifies as pro-choice, but can separate herself from the hysteria on the issue, the back alley abortion hysteria on the issue, and say, this is bad law. And because it's bad law, it has no legitimacy among half of the nation. And so the idea that Roe v. Wade ended the debate on this issue, actually, it has just further intensified the debate over the intervening 45 years, hasn't it? And that's what the reality on the ground is. So in terms of, I mean, my choice, if I had to choose from those four.
I've been waiting, and everyone was asking me. My mom was asking. Peyton and Eli were asking.
I would probably go with Judge Kethledge.
Really?
Yeah, Raymond Kethledge. Mostly because he wrote a book about the importance of solitude.
Okay.
In terms of living a contemplative life, walling yourself off from people, thinking through things.
Okay.
Not interact. I mean, he didn't take it this far. I'm sort of building on the case he made. But I think
I'm going with Amy.
I think Kethledge is the most reliable. But but
how old is he, Kethledge?
Early 50s.
Age and issue?
Yeah, all these
50's a new 30, so you're all right.
All these judges are relatively young.
Amy's 46.
45, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
I'm
age
just
her
gonna have
before
to
time.
Look that up. But she looks 29. I mean, really.
So Amy Coney Barrett, Notre
That's
Dame.
who I think is
That's who you want?
Yeah, that's who I want.
Sure. Solidarity. I get it.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You know your buddy Scott Walker, governor of Wisconsin, he's pushing for Brett Kavanaugh.
Ron and Berwyn wants Ted Cruz. Well, that's not going to happen. Ted Cruz wants Mike Lee. Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, Mike Lee, yeah. No sitting politician. Today, forecast, it's hot and humid and plenty of sunshine. We'll hit a high of 92 degrees today. Tonight, a low of 72. And for tomorrow, some clouds and sun. Breezy, less humid by the afternoon. A high in the mid-80s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Well, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Traffic has actually improved on the outbound Kennedy since our last report. There was a crash at Cumberland. It's gone now. 45 minutes downtown at the airport. 190 has some congestion in both directions of the airport. Inbound Kennedy is 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Edens, 21 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Eisenhower, 42 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Northbound I-55 to Lakeshore at Weber. Then it's 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 37, crash at Pulaski. And this involves several vehicles. The Ryan is open. It's 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State stop and go from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway heavy from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? Well, if so, Permaseal is not that company for you. All too often, Permaseal hears stories of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't have to expect your living room or bedroom to get wet, do you? Then why settle and continue to live with a wet basement? The Permaseal team believes your basement should be dry no matter how hard it rains. You can have a permanently dry basement. Just give them a call at 800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you are getting the best value in the industry. Roy Spencer, well, he started Permaseal back in 1979, and it's still a local Chicagoland family-owned business. They also have the most positive reviews of any waterproofing company on the Better Business Bureau website. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal, 1-800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325. Or check out permaseal.net.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Looking for a fun summer vacation idea? Charlottesville in Albemarle County, Virginia is a short and easy trip with daily nonstop flights on 2 airlines from O'Hare. Tour the homes of former Presidents Jefferson, Monroe, and Madison. Sip wine at one of the area's 30-plus wineries. Take a hike in Shenandoah National Park. Dine al fresco at one of the many farm-to-table restaurants. Or stroll down one of the longest pedestrian malls in the country. Plan your trip today at visitcharlottesville.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Returning locally here, this is sort of kind of below the fold story, but I think it's instructive. The governor's race is in full swing. You see commercials from Spalding and Ronner populating the airwaves, right?
Yeah. Which one's your favorite? I'm over the toilet one, the Porcelain King. That's getting old.
Yeah.
And then Ronner's attacks. I mean, not Ronner. Pritzker's attack. Ronner has 9 homes. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
Nothing's really biting at me.
Yeah, it's pretty dismal, the two of them. Here's an idea, though, coming from the Republican Party in Cook County. Give up the brand. Let's walk away from that Republican label. It's too hard to get Republicans elected in Cook County and Chicago. So
what do we
about? We want to go to, they're trying to get a binding referendum question on the ballot to make all elections for all Cook County countywide offices nonpartisan.
Oh, sort of like the mayor's race.
Right.
And the aldermanic races.
Because
we don't have a party.
Because making this Chicago race is nonpartisan. Look at all the Republicans that got elected.
Oh, they're stunning. They're overflowing.
So this is just this is brought to you by your Surrender Republican Party. I have a better idea, actually. I think this would be be a place that would be more comfortable for the leadership of the Illinois Surrender Republican Party. Have everybody just run as a Democrat.
Oh. And you could be, what about a Republican?
If you're
Republican turned Democrat.
Well, we could have everybody run as that, too.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick suggestion.
It's just
the party be?
The label is the problem.
Yeah, that's yes.
But you know what? It turns out that a brand is including Republican Party or Democrat Party. It's just a promise to deliver something the same way that a brand for soap or pop is, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a promise to deliver something.
All about the marketing.
So the brand is a symptom of the problem. The problem is that moniker, Republican, Illinois Republican, Cook County Republican, is a promise to deliver who the hell knows. A promise to deliver surrender to Democrats. That's, I guess, the closest I could come to in terms of if I had to answer the question, what is the Cook County Republican brand, or what is the Illinois Republican Party brand? What is it a promise to deliver? And so this is just classic, though. It's a way to, again, wave a wand and try and absolve yourself of responsibility to do the hard work of party building and persuasion. You get some rich guy to write a check, then we don't have to worry about building fundraising infrastructure. Just walk away from our from our party label, and then we don't have to worry about infusing that label with any meaning. Right? Rather than saying, the market has given us feedback, and the feedback is this brand doesn't have much value to them. So what are we going to do to imbue this brand with meaning to people's lives, such as they'd consider a Republican where they haven't previously? And here's the thing. This is against the backdrop where the Democrat brand has been destroyed by Democrat Pauls in charge of this city and state, too. So you would think this would be an opportunity for boldness, and instead it's an opportunity to yet surrender again.
What about surrender Republicans?
As the new
name.
brand?
Yes.
Well, that would be honest. That would be honest.
What could they be called? Instead, so do we have to change? We can't say we're Republicans anymore. Are we going to have to say that we're?
Well,
non-committal. No, not non-committal. But what would we say? If there's no Republican Party in Cook County or Republican candidates officially.
I don't know. I guess that's like the offshoot of in Cook County, the offshoot of Republicans that are still willing to wear the Republican brand and try and reimagine it and reintroduce it for reconsideration. I guess we'll have to call ourselves the Patlaks. I mean, I don't. He's the only Cook County. He's the only Cook County wide elected official, or not Cook County wide, but the highest Cook County elected official on the board of review. So, so you'll have Sean Morrison and the Surrender Republicans, and then the insurgent group will be the Patlaks. I like it. Here's the other thing. The funny thing about surrender, you think that then they'll protect you. You retreat and nobody will follow you. It turns out that Sean Morrison, who's a Cook County commissioner, Greg Goslin, who's a Cook County commissioner, Tim Schneider, the Republican Party chairman, Cook County commissioner. So you've got the Republican Party chairman and the Cook County Republican chairman are both Cook County commissioners. And guess what?
What?
Their surrendering is provocative, as has Ronner's been. So Pritzker is putting $400,000 through Tony Preckwinkle into these Cook County Commissioner reelection races in the suburbs to take out Goslin, who's been a seat warmer for the last 20 years, and Schneider, and Morrison. And let me tell you, with where things are trending and the absence of any brand value or value in general the Republican Party has to offer other than we're not Madigan, don't think that it couldn't be a bloodbath in the suburbs and those Cook County commissioners, those Surrender Republican Party dudes with the leadership titles couldn't be taken out. Very interesting. So maybe we're going to have yet another cautionary tale, and then maybe Republican voters, or Patlaks, as they're called in Cook County.
The Patlaks.
Maybe they'll start to reconsider who's been in charge of this party that they've been trying to eliminate during their charge. I mean, it's just the most remarkable thing. This is, without new leadership for the Republican Party, it will be California. It will be the elimination of the Republican Party, and it will be, the continuation of this failed state of Illinois. And it's all been done and done in by our own on the center right. And so everybody who supported this hierarchy and those names in those slots, this is what you have begotten. And we'll see if in November they survive, because they're not insulated.
No, they're vulnerable right now. I mean,
and where the suburbs are at, with the absence of any alternative vision other than I'm not Mike Madigan. Very volatile. Very volatile if you're a Republican and that's all you have to offer. Very interesting stuff.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, is $20 too much to spend to get out of pain? If so, I guess you're not in that much pain. This is Michael Medved again to sing the praises of a 100% drug-free solution to lowering your pain levels. It's called Relief Factor, and the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. My wife and friends have found relief, and so can you. Your back, neck, shoulder, hip, or knee pain can all be reduced or even eliminated with the help of Relief Factor at ReliefFactor.com or by calling 800-500-8384, ReliefFactor.com.
Did you know that you could drive 5 different brand new Metro Fords for less than $8 per day? Metro Ford introduces the Easy Ford Upgrade Program. It's easy, it's fast, and you could be driving the nicer, newer vehicle you deserve for less than $8 per day. Now's the time to upgrade to a new Ford Fiesta, Focus, Fusion, EcoSport, or Escape for less than $8 per day at Metro Ford. All credit is considered and no proof of income is needed. Metro Ford specializes in drivers with fixed incomes, including Social Security, disability, and retirement. Good credit, bad credit, or no credit. See Metro Ford today and drive today. Metro Ford is located at 6455 Southwestern Avenue in Chicago. Or visit Metro Ford online today at emetroford.com. Since 1984, Metro Fords are everywhere. Make the easy upgrade and put one in your driveway. emetroford.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
And it's not just Pritzker's money, it's also SEIU. The
Right.
Purple People Beaters are coming for these county commissioners, too. And they
Like,
just want-
look at what they did to John Fritchie because he voted against the soda tax. And so the person running against him, I mean, they paid for her flyers, for the signs, had people volunteering, walking, going door to door.
They took out Fritchie as well as Richard Boykin in Oak Park in the primary. And the interesting thing, just to tell you, Schneider's district, which was held by Carl Hansen for almost 30 years before him, and then Goslin's district, which was held by Siebel. These are districts that have been Republican for generations, and they are in jeopardy now. And that has everything to do with the Republican Party surrendering at every single turn. There's going to be a reckoning, or a reckoning that will continue, and those that thought they were insulated by playing patty cake with the other side are going to find out they're not.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to CNBC contributor and columnist for the American Enterprise Institute, Jimmy Pethokoukis, about tariffs and trade and all kinds of things economic. Can Ocasio-Cortez save the world at 6:36?
And speaking of saving lives, the French bulldog saved on a JetBlue flight. We'll tell you what happened. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 68 degrees. A number of news agencies are now confirming a fifth boy has been brought out of a flooded cave in Thailand. Divers rescued 4 yesterday, more than 2 weeks after 12 members of a soccer team and their coach were trapped in that popular cave complex. Police in Britain opening a murder investigation into the death of a woman, Dawn Sturgis, and her boyfriend, exposed to the same nerve agent used in the poisoning of an ex-Russian spy. Japan's government says Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has canceled his planned mid-July trip to Europe and the Middle East. He will oversee emergency responses to deadly heavy rains. 103 have been killed. 80 are unaccounted for in the hardest-hit areas near Hiroshima. A passenger train derailed in northern Turkey. 24 killed. 300 others have been wounded. Investigators believe heavy rains caused the ground underneath the rails to collapse. A group from Kensington Church in Troy, Michigan, stuck in Haiti along with many other churches due to widespread violence that broke out there. Chris Barnett says there are 44 church members stuck in Haiti as part of the Mission of Hope group.
All things considered, we're really blessed right now. As far as our safety, we're actually really safe right here where we're at.
Church leaders have been in contact with members and the U.S. Embassy. They believe they'll return safely. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says there has been progress made in denuclearizing North Korea.
We intended to build upon the agreements made by President Trump and Chairman Kim, and we made progress.
Pompeo says high-pressure negotiations continued over the weekend. Senator Doug Jones, a critical Democrat, says he's now open to voting for President Trump's Supreme Court nominee.
I don't think my role is a rubber stamp for the president, but it's also not an automatic knee-jerk no either.
CNN's State of the Union featured Jones, an Alabama Democrat. Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones in 2015 set to go on trial later today in a separate misdemeanor battery case. Firefighters are on the scene of a large blaze in the Back of the Yards neighborhood. Fire broke out early this morning near 53rd and Wood. A 13-year-old girl who died after being caught in rip currents in Lake Michigan while swimming near a Chicago beach will be remembered tonight during a service at Loyola Beach. Tribune says Darian Torres was pronounced dead Friday night. She will be remembered tonight. The National Weather Service had warned beachgoers last Friday to stay out of Lake Michigan. Cubs beat the Reds in 10 innings, 6-5. Astros trimmed the White Sox 2-1 in Houston. Zach Levine's staying with the Bulls. A free agent deal, 4 years and $80 million. The news is a service of Aruba Tourism. The happy island of Aruba is nestled in the southern Caribbean outside of the hurricane belt, so picture perfect weather practically guaranteed. Up a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at aruba.com. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager doesn't normally resort to name calling, but sometimes the shoe fits.
I hate calling people names, but it has come to the point where there are people on the left now so freely use Nazi that I think calling them an arrogant fool is somewhat mild, would you say, compared to Nazi?
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Pursue your passion with a degree from Aurora University Online. Choose fully online programs in business, computer science, and more. To learn more, visit online.aurora.edu.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update this morning on the roads. For most of us, it's a back-to-work week in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing, for the most part, routine delays on the expressways. Eden's inbound, slow 2 to Montrose. It's 23 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 20. Kennedy, 32 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 15 from Montrose, 12 in the express. Outbound 14 minutes to Montrose, 42 to the airport. On Eisenhower, delays are from Manheim to Des Plaines Avenue and Kedzie to the Burn Circle. 44 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 35. Stevenson's heavy, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 41 minutes, crash at Pulaski on the left side. And 33 minutes, make that 23 minutes, 95th to downtown on the right. Outbound 15. Northbound tri-state delays from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic, service of KeHE Distributors. It's an exciting time to join the KeHE team as a delivery driver. KeHE offers great benefits, your safety first, and highly competitive wages. Call 800-800-2175. That's 1-800-800-2175. KeHE, we hire to retire. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Hot and humid, plenty of sunshine, high 92. 67 in sunshine right now. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Who will Trump's Supreme Court nominee be? We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
And some breaking news from Thailand. The 6th and 7th boys have been pulled out alive from that Thai cave. So
all right,
that's good news.
We'll stay on that as well as will Mike Scott, keep you updated on those rescue efforts. But what about all things economic and rescuing our economy here in Illinois?
Nice. I see what you did there.
Story out of Granite City down in southern Illinois, the U.S. Steel plant down there, which I have toured.
Yes.
They're firing up the furnaces again because of, they would argue, because of Trump's tariffs on foreign steel that are affording a plant that was shuttered, laying off 2,000 people just 3 years ago, the opportunity to get jump-started again. And this is not inconsistent with what the CEO of U.S. Steel said at the outset of the Trump administration, that he was looking at 10,000 new jobs because of what he believed was a renewed commitment to domestic steel production, even though prior to the tariffs, 3/4 of steel production was domestic. But nonetheless, does this mean that the tariffs are working as intended, and this game of brinkmanship with the Chinese in particular can produce some net positive results? As a free trader, I'm very skeptical, but I do not have the credentials of one Jimmy Pethokoukis, who is a CNBC contributor and columnist for the American Enterprise Institute. So why don't we get his take? James, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hello, James.
Do we have Jimmy? Jimmy Pethokoukis.
This is Steve Moore.
Oh, Steve.
Remember me? I'm an economist.
Steve Moore.
Steve Moore.
Steve Moore doing his best Jimmy Pethokoukis impersonation.
Are you a winner on Jeopardy?
Okay. All right. Well, Steve Moore
But
also.
I'm happy to answer your question, guys.
Steve Moore is also an economist with more credentials than I am, even though he only went to U of I, not Northwestern. And so he can answer that question, too. Steve, what about the tariffs and the ratcheting up of brinkmanship between the U.S. and the Chinese?
Well, I'm going to start by saying that so far, just about everything Trump has done on the economy sure seems to be working. I mean, we got that blockbuster jobs report on Friday. We're going to get later this week or early next week, we're going to get the second quarter GDP number, which many economists now believe could be 5% growth. So the economy is absolutely booming right now, 18 months into Trump's presidency. So one of the points I made on CNN the other night was, look, you got to start giving this guy the benefit of the doubt that he knows what he's doing on the economy. Now, we've talked about this before on the show. I am not a fan of the steel tariffs. By the way, where is that steel mill that's reopening?
Granite City in southern Illinois.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a success story, but the problem is for every success story you can find on the steel tariffs, you can point to the Harley-Davidsons and other manufacturing that has actually been hurt by the steel tariffs, where manufacturing jobs are actually put in jeopardy. So I think on balance, given the fact that for every we have something like 100 to 150,000 steel workers in this country, but we have 6 million other manufacturing workers who use steel, and their jobs have been put somewhat in jeopardy by those tariffs. So I think on balance, it's a net loser.
Mm-hmm. Explain why the unemployment rate jumped up higher this last report.
Oh, that's a good reason, because we had, hold on to your hats, guys, 600,000 more Americans enter the workforce. We've been waiting, Dan, about 10 years for a number like that?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, the problem has been, Amy, we used to joke, remember on this show on the Obama years, Obama was going to get the unemployment rate down to zero because everybody was going to drop out of the workforce. And you had millions of Americans who just either stopped looking for work or went on unemployment benefits under Obama. And so the unemployment rate kept going down, even though the job creation numbers weren't very good. Now we're getting really robust job creation. We have now, according to that latest jobs report that came out on Friday, Amy, something like 5 to 6 million more jobs available than people who can fill them. So the fact is we're finally starting to see people get off the sideline and get into the workforce. And one of the things, if you're a teenager or you're a young person out there, sitting around your butt this summer, go out and get a job because they are out there.
Well, we've got other big ideas here. It's not just coming from Trump, and I wanted to run this by you since this is sort of your wheelhouse area, energy policy. And that is the new head of the Democrat Party, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has a plan to, according to the New Republic, a plan to save the planet, nothing less. And who better to save the planet than a waitress who doesn't understand there's no free lunch? She is proposing a Green New Deal, a plan like FDR's New Deal, but to make us energy independent, 100% renewable energy system by 2035. It will be similar in scale to the mobilization effort seen in World War II or the Marshall Plan, she told the Huffington Post. We must again invest in development, manufacturing, deployment, distribution of energy, but this time green energy. Steve Moore, are you going to be a signatory on the Green New Deal plan?
Well, we were just talking about the reopening of the steel mill. There's an old saying that you can build windmills with steel, right? But you can't build steel with windmills. And so that is a pretty lunatic idea. I mean, the idea that somehow we're going to not produce our, here are the numbers today, by the way. I just looked at those numbers last week. We get about almost 3/4 of our electric power today, our electric power generation in states like Illinois, Massachusetts, and California. 3/4 of it comes from coal and natural gas. You know what percentage of our energy today comes from wind and solar power?
What percent? 3%.
We're up to about 5%. 5%. So so we're going to go. Let me get this
That's
right.
why we need
How
the
many
plan.
birds have lost their lives?
That's
for
why we
just
need
5%?
this. That's why we need this Green New Deal.
Exactly. By the way, we have a very clean, efficient, made in America form of electric power, and of course that is natural gas. It's reduced our pollution levels, reduced our greenhouse gas emissions. It's a source of energy that we have more of than any other country in the world, thanks to the shale oil and gas revolution. Why in the world wouldn't you want to use natural gas? I mean, now by the way, there's another form of electric power that emits virtually zero carbon emissions into the atmosphere. You know what that is?
Nuclear
power. Of course, the left wants to shut down our nuclear plants too. I mean, it's ridiculous. If you want to really put in jeopardy our industrial economy in the United States, try to go with 100%, or even 50%, 30%, renewable energy. What are you going to do in Illinois when the sun isn't shining?
We'll freeze to death. I mean, but that's
the windmills will be turning.
Well, that's a small price to pay for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's ascension.
No, I mean, it is a totally crazy idea. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, by the way, Illinois is a coal state, right? I mean, the United States of America has more natural gas, more coal, and now it turns out more oil. I was just down in the Permian Basin in Texas. We have more of this stuff than any other country in the world. Why in the world wouldn't we want to use it? And by the way, China is laughing. You want to talk about China laughing behind our back in our economic war with China? They're building 50 coal plants right now while we're shutting ours down. How is that going to save the planet?
Speaking of China and these dueling tariffs, Gordon Chang is this scholar who has suggested that.
Yeah, I know Gordon. Yep.
Yeah, that China's a paper tiger and that China is on the precipice of collapse. The Shenzhen is off 40% over the last 3 years. And so what should we be as fearful of China as this looming economic powerhouse as we seem to be, given what Gordon Chang is suggesting?
I'm not an expert on China, but I will say this, that I am pretty good on just sort of how economies work. And China in the last 7 or 8 years has moved away from the freedom model and the free enterprise model that really liberated their economy from Maoism, and moved 500 million Chinese out of abject poverty and starvation. But they've moved in the opposite direction now. They are more central planning. They're state ownership of the means of production. They've moved more back to the socialist model. That history tells us, right, that model doesn't work. And so I do think China may be a bit of a paper tiger, but look, they're a big economy now. They're the second largest economy in the world, just slightly behind the United States. I shouldn't say slightly; they're still well behind us, but they have been catching up. But I don't think their model is right. I like the American model where we have entrepreneurship. We don't have government. Too often we have government directing investment, but not nearly as much as some of these other countries. And that model works. The model of government deciding where to invest and what industries of the future they are going to put their money behind. It's never worked. I mean, it didn't work for the Soviet Union. It's not going to work for China.
All right. He is Steve Moore, chief economist for CNN. Steve.
And it's not Jimmy P.
Oh, well, you're often confused. You two, you're like his doppelganger.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a great day, guys. Bye.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the 7th and fifth and sixth, I should say, child soccer player has been rescued from that Thai cave.
And more mystery guests.
And we're,
Who knows who'll be on the program.
We'll spin the wheel. But first, here's your forecast. It's going to be hot and humid today. Plenty of sunshine, as you can already see. A high of 82 degrees. We are at 68 degrees right now. Tonight, patchy clouds, a low of 72. And for tomorrow, we're going to have heat and humidity, but less of it by the afternoon. Clouds, sun, a beautiful high of 86 degrees. Let's get into the alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. We're now seeing delays on the northbound Veterans Memorial, 355. It's slow from Boughton Road most of the way to Roosevelt Road. Northbound Tri-State, slow 95th to 75th. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue on-ramps from Irving Park to the northbound Tri-State, scheduled to close today and remain closed till the end of the year. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Junction. Kennedy, 32 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Out about an hour and 4 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 39. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 41 minutes. The Rhine is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. President Trump unveiling his next Supreme Court nominee tonight. New acting EPA chief takes over, and Amazon selling white supremacist products. Those stories next.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
It's probably been about 10 years ago. I had quite a few credit cards. The interest on the cards was really high. I was making the minimum payments, but barely. And it was just getting to be too much, so I called Trinity.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976 to talk to a certified counselor.
They met with me, and they were able to get all of my credit cards in one lower payment.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
They did help me learn how to manage my money. Now, we have a house, and we're doing a lot better.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Holly, and I am debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
President Trump has scheduled the announcement of his next Supreme Court nominee for 9 o'clock Eastern Time tonight. President Trump replacing Associate Justice Anthony Kennedy, who retires at the end of this month. Andrew Wheeler, the Deputy EPA Administrator, taking over today as acting head of the Environmental Agency. Scott Pruitt has resigned. Wheeler, a former coal industry lobbyist, is expected to continue to enforce Pruitt's pro-business policies. Amazon blames third-party vendors and promises to remove the offensive products straight away. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, it's back. The MyPillow buy one, get one free offer is back for the month of July. And if you haven't bought your MyPillow yet, here's your chance to save big. Even our 45th president mentioned he sleeps on a MyPillow. It's true. Mike Lindell, the MyPillow guy, was at that rally in Fargo last month, and the president recognized him and endorsed MyPillow on national TV. I love that you can move the fill to get the support you need regardless of sleep position. I don't wake up with a stiff neck or headache. MyPillow, made in America, washable and dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty plus that wonderful 60-day money-back guarantee. Go online or call now for this great deal and others, including 30% off everything else, the MyPillow mattress topper, pet beds, sheets, and more. Call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Are you facing foreclosure, been foreclosed upon, in a bad modification, or just stuck in a bad mortgage? Well, we may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. We defend foreclosure actions. We bring claims against the banks and the servicers for wrongful foreclosure and other violations of mortgage servicing regulations. And we help people negotiate modifications of their existing mortgages, often including principal reductions. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, and advice regarding your options.
Hi, this is Rayanne from Lou Bridges & Associates. I am one of the loan modification processors here, and if you are in need of any additional information in regard to a loan modification, please contact the office.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
Tired of working dead-end jobs, getting laid off time and time again? Consider the growing healthcare field. Change your future now. TTI Medical Training can help you. TTI Medical Training offers in-demand healthcare training programs so you can enter the growing healthcare field. They offer courses to become a certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, patient care technician, dialysis technician, and other rewarding healthcare careers. All TTI Medical Training programs lead to certification, and that's the key to getting a job in the healthcare field. Healthcare employers desperately need certified healthcare techs. TTI offers short-term programs that you can complete in less than 9 months. You can start your healthcare career right after graduation. They have 2 locations in Chicagoland and flexible class schedules to fit any schedule. Call now, 773-774-2222, and begin healthcare training today. Or learn more online at ttimedicalschool.com. That's 773-774-2222 or online at ttimedicalschool.com.
Your daughter's wedding is one of the proudest moments of your life, a moment you and your family will treasure for the rest of your lives. As the months of planning start to unfold and you get closer to the special day, things can get a bit hectic. So many important details. To capture these once-in-a-lifetime memories and not have to worry about anything but the celebration, trust Artland Photography for every precious moment. At Artland Photography, it's all about you. No matter what your style, their photographers have the skill and experience to capture the moments quickly and stay out of the way. They'll make it easy to enjoy all of the smiles, laughter, and tears to enjoy for generations. Visit them at artland.com, where you can see their amazing work and outstanding reviews for yourself. Plus, learn about a special limited time offer. You'll know why Artland Photography has been Wedding Wire's couple's choice for the last 5 years. They also shoot everything from major corporate events to business and family portraits. Visit artland.com. It's all about you.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about the rescue efforts underway for that soccer team stranded in Thailand. Our very own senior senator, Sack Durban.
Oh, my God.
He commented on it, Meet the Press, over the weekend.
Hearts and prayers are with those boys in Thailand, trapped in the cave. Hearts and prayers are with those boys in Thailand, trapped in the cave. I hope our hearts and prayers are also with thousands of children, toddlers, and infants removed from their parents by the Trump administration under zero tolerance. They're trapped in a bureaucratic cave, too. So let's not forget them.
Oh my, how irresponsible of him to compare the two. There is, I honestly, the kids that are trapped.
Cave. They're in a metaphorical
Oh, yeah.
cave.
But the kids that are trapped are scared. They're weak. They miss their parents. And it's going to be an arduous task to get them out. And they've rescued the 6th and 7th boy. CNN's reporting. Other outlets are reporting. But it is amazing. It's a 3 miles long. And the person that's rescuing them, they're master divers. And they strap on 2 boys to each expert diver. But it's a long journey to get out.
Same thing that was going on at Ohio State, apparently.
Oh, hey. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
It's Groundhog Day on the Dan Ryan.
But first, let's get into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Officer Rialmo set to face trial again, but this time for a restaurant fight. Crews on the scene of a large blaze in the back of the Yards neighborhood, and a 3-year-old boy perishes in a Southside fire. WINT Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Another day of rescues in Thailand. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A 5th boy was pulled out of that cave and sent by helicopter to a hospital. And Reuters is reporting a 6th and 7th and 8th boy taken out on stretchers. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring it all live from London.
Dave, phase 2 of a dramatic rescue operation underway in Thailand. The boys are diving their way out of the flooded cave complex, navigating its dark, twisting passages, despite having no diving experience. The head of the rescue mission saying the first 4 boys to be freed are doing well. They're in hospital and have been checked over. And the mission commander this morning saying they asked for pork and fried rice. The team of 12 and their coach have been trapped for more than 2 weeks. Dave?
Simon, in Japan, a search for dozens of people missing after floods and mudslides in the Hiroshima area. At least 100 others are dead, some villages underwater.
It was scary. In front of our house had become a river and made a huge noise.
And President Trump will announce his Supreme Court pick tonight. He tweeted it'll be an exceptional person. His short list is down to 4 judges: Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, Raymond Kethledge, or Thomas Hardiman. Republicans have a slim majority in the Senate, so the focus is on possible swing votes for confirmation.
Liberal organizations are airing ads in Maine and Alaska, home to Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, both moderate Republicans who have bucked party leadership. But the pressure campaign goes both ways. The White House is singling out 3 Senate Democrats, Joe Donnelly, Joe Manchin, and Heidi Heitkamp. Each supported Justice Neil Gorsuch. Each is up for re-election in states won by President Trump.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Are plastic straws an endangered species? Starbucks is joining the crowd, not wanting us to use them anymore, planning to eliminate those straws in all locations by 2020. It's estimated 500 million plastic straws are used in the U.S. every day. Some cities have banned them, and more are considering it. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 67 degrees at 7:02. On AM 560, The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Mayor Emanuel flying to Asia this week. He'll meet with business leaders while a trade war is underway between the U.S. and China. The Chicago Tribune reports the mayor is planning to visit a Chinese business that has a $1.3 billion contract with the CTA to manufacture train cars. Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones in 2015 is set to go on trial today, but in a separate case. Officer Robert Rialmo faces 2 counts of misdemeanor battery stemming from a fight at a Northwest Side restaurant last December. Firefighters are mopping up on the scene of a large blaze in the back of the Yards neighborhood. Fire broke out early this morning in a building. Chicago Fire says it spread to 2 others near 53rd and Wood. Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill announced late yesterday he will speak with reporters this morning regarding recent calls for him to resign over allegations of inappropriate touching. Hill is the state's top legal officer and will speak to reporters at his State House office. Several of Indiana's top Republican leaders, including Governor Eric Holcomb, have called on Hill to resign amid the allegations. An Aurora police officer recovering after crashing into a local auto shop. The officer was responding to a burglary call yesterday when a car turned in front of him on East New York Street. Chicago sports. Cubs beat the Reds in 10, 6-5. Astros edge the White Sox 2-1 in Houston. Trio of Cubs and White Sox slugger Jose Abreu headed to the All-Star game. The news service of Aruba Tourism. The Happy Island of Aruba is nestled in the southern Caribbean, outside of the hurricane belt, so picture-perfect weather is practically guaranteed. Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to One Happy Island and plan your Aruba vacation today at aruba.com. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity, The Sean Hannity Show.
You effectively have just opened the borders, wide open borders. It doesn't solve the problem. And Congress doesn't want to do their job. Because if they really did, they could literally get it done in a day. If they really meant the things that they were saying, they would get it done for the sake of the children that they seem to care so much about.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joel Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
7:05, check of the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The outbound Kennedy's really jammed this morning, mainly with O'Hare traffic. It's solid from Montrose to 190, where the delays continue right into the terminal area, which is very congested this morning. Downtown to Montrose is just 16 minutes on the Kennedy, but it is an hour and 4 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Inbound Kennedy running 40 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 22 from Montrose and 20 in the Express. Aiden's 23 minutes either way from Laycook Junction. Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 34 from Manheim, up on 39 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Delay start at Weber, up on its 44 minutes. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 17 minutes, I-80 to the Verge. Northbound Tri-State stop and go, 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. On Reagan Tollway, heavy 22nd to the Tri-State. The northbound Veterans Memorial, Dalton most of the way to Roosevelt. Northwest Indiana looks fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
More humid with a full day of sunshine today, high 92. Patchy clouds for the night, low 72. Breezy and less humid with some clouds followed by sunshine tomorrow, high 86. And at night, turning out to be partly cloudy with a low tomorrow night, 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Groundhog Day! Get up and shake that hog out there! Yeah! Come here, Groundhog!
I'm reliving the same day over and over.
Dan and Amy, that's what we've been doing in Chicago for the entire adult lives of Jesse Jackson Sr. and Father Michael Pfleger, which we did again on Saturday with their shut down the Dan Ryan protests in Make no mistake about it. They came, they saw, they shut down.
It will be shut down! It will be shut down!
And so it was.
Yeah, well, they were supposed to originally have one lane. That was the plan. One lane, about a mile and a half between 79th and 67th on the inbound Dan Ryan. But they wanted more, and they got more. They closed down all 5 lanes of traffic because Mayor Emanuel, Superintendent Johnson caved. And Illinois State Police, we had to spend our tax dollars, with hundreds of police officers plus Illinois State Police and IDOT had to use their trucks to stop traffic. Literally, it was a standstill, a parking lot on the Dan Ryan, so much so that even people that were stranded or stuck got out of their cars to watch the protest.
Yeah, so you had a march.
Yeah, then that's,
And you had chanting. Yeah. And
they have a right to assemble, but not on my expressway.
you had a march, and you had your chanting, and you had specialty T-shirts.
Oh.
You had it all. And then after the march was over,
Everything was fine, right?
you had 5 dead and 35 wounded this weekend.
35 people shot.
Mm.
5 fatally shot.
So you can't end violence by saying you're for peace, and you can't end violence by demanding more of what we've done in the South and West Sides, which is just pour government money and extend government control over every aspect of the lives of the residents of those neighborhoods. And apparently, per the organizers there, you can't fall into the trap that the honkies want you to fall into.
The what?
The honkies. Which is to incarcerate violent criminals. Not going to fall for that. Not Father Pfleger, not Jesse Jackson Sr. Good piece in the City Journal on the topic. Makes the point about incarceration. Get a couple of examples. The real problem, Chicago consistently fails to incapacitate its criminal class. When the cops catch a bad guy, the city often lets him right out. For instance, June 27th, Chicago police arrest Cortez Bird, a felon, for, among other things, unlawfully using a weapon. But look into the city's arrest database shows that Bird, just 19 years old, was arrested a year earlier for aggravated use of a loaded firearm. On the same date, June 27, CPD arrested Joseph Ryan on a gun charge. Ryan's record shows 6 prior arrests on charges ranging from possession of a stolen vehicle to drugs to property destruction to being a fugitive from justice. In April, the CPD posted photos on Facebook of drugs and several firearms recovered during the arrest of Kendall McCurry. 12 days later, McCurry was arrested for dealing cannabis. He was arrested yet again 2 weeks afterward on the same charge. McCurry's record shows 7 arrests since 2014, 2 for gun possession. And yet, what do we hear from Pfleger and Jackson and their fellow travelers? If it's not demands for more gun control and prosecution of people who commit crimes with guns, that's not happening, then it's more money from the government to particular neighborhoods, and that has been happening to no great effect.
Well, they have a plan.
We need an aggressive plan. If there's not an aggressive plan to help equalize the South and the West Side to the North Side, then we'll get ready for another civil disobedience.
I say Father Pfleger for mayor. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Why should he just do what he was doing on Saturday, flack for Tiny Dancer? Why flack for him? Be the guy yourself. Take the helm. Michael Pfleger. Chicago deserves you. Frank in Sarasota, Florida. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Amy. How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm not in Sarasota right now, but I'm in Illinois.
Okay. We're not tracking.
But whatever.
He's got 2 homes.
Pardon me?
No,
you
go
have
ahead.
2 homes, yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
As far as the shutdown of the Dan Ryan, I was really disappointed in John Cass's column. I believe it was on Friday, where he, said that Pfleger was doing the right thing. But anyway, as far as that goes, jobs and economic opportunity doesn't stop the gangbanging. If they're worried about guns, as far as I'm concerned, there was a bill, I believe, in the Springfield a year or so ago, and that bill was to give stiffer penalties for crimes committed with guns. And the Black Caucus in Illinois had that squashed. I didn't hear one word from Pfleger about that.
Well, that's right. Thanks for the call, Frank. I mean, that's exactly the problem. And we just, from this piece in the City Journal, cited a couple of recent cases of multiple individuals who have been arrested multiple times, a range of crimes, including gun-related crimes. And it's just turnstile justice in Chicago and Cook County. And it's even more so if you talk to anybody who knows, whether it's in CPD or the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, it's even more so with Kim Foxx, because Kim Foxx, Tony Preckwinkle protege, is one of these left-wing SJWs who wants to open the jails. Criminal justice reform and a path for ex-offenders after they've served a legitimate sentence for their crimes, that is not mutually exclusive to punishing people for said crimes. You can find ways for ex-offenders to reenter society. We've done it at Illinois Policy Institute has done it through things like licensing reform. Somebody's proven up, they've served their sentence, they've proven up that they're going to be an upstanding citizen, and why should there be these artificial barriers to be like a hairstylist or to be an entrepreneur in some other discipline? There are ways to facilitate the reentry of ex-offenders into civil society for those that don't want to be repeat offenders. But here we just have the hands being thrown up. So that results in police not making stops, because what's the point? I don't have the backing of not only the civilian political authorities, but the other side of the criminal justice system, the prosecutor's offices. And you have case after case after case of this where, and this happens not just the prosecutor, but the judges as well, not imposing sentences, prosecutors pleading people out for lesser included charges that don't involve jail time or involve less jail time than there should be. And so you have this criminal class that's completely unaccountable. And so Pfleger and Jackson flack for a criminal class that preys on their defined constituents at the same time as they advocate for policies that have destroyed these neighborhoods and done nothing in furtherance of public safety or economic opportunity.
Well, and speaking of public safety, they're going to do this again, and they're also going to take pen to paper.
No, we got their attention. Today we got their attention, and hopefully they saw the masses of people who got their attention. The next thing is the goal. Our young people sent letters to the governor and the mayor and all the candidates running for mayor and governor and said, sit down with us. We have ideas what you need to do. You tell us what you're going to do. We need an aggressive plan. If there's not an aggressive plan to help equalize the south and the west side to the north side, then we'll get ready for another civil disobedience.
It's Groundhog Day! Get up and shake that hog out there! Yeah!
I'm reliving the same day over and over.
I mean, honestly, we got their attention. That's all that Pfleger and Jackson ever do. 1,000 people in Dan Ryan, big deal. There were 15,000 people at Daily Plaza protesting our immigration laws. So what? I mean, yeah, okay, it's a spectacle. It's something for the Chicago Press Corps to cover.
Well, and national networks covered it too.
Whatever. Chicago Press Corps is just an extension of the D.C. Press Corps. So what? Big deal.
Well, what's next? The Kennedy? Maybe the Junction?
Chicago River. The airspace over O'Hare. Dan in Libertyville.
Good morning. Yeah, Father Pfleger is really a unique case. If you were to research, he used to protest outside Chuck's gun shop down in like Riverdale.
Yeah, that's right.
And he chanted out to snuff out Chuck. So when you got a Catholic priest talking to his parish about killing an innocent man who's doing nothing more than conducting business, it's pretty hard to take him serious. Now, we have 100,000 gang members, according to the FBI and the Illinois Crime Commission. 50 gangs in Chicago. Cook County Jail is full. They have nowhere to lock these people up. That's why it's turn them in and turn them out. We have a system in which we have more criminals than we have cops or jail cells to lock them up, and it does become a hands-up kind of thing. Because what the hell are you going to do with them?
Yeah, that's not, except, thanks for the call, Dan, except when you're talking about violent criminals, repeat violent offenders, it's a much smaller number. And Eddie Johnson, he's even made mention of it. 1,500 people that we know are likely to kill or be killed. And I'm not saying that's the limit of it, but I'm also not talking about warehousing every 12-year-old who's a member of the Latin Kings. I'm talking about violent criminals. And also
they
police,
know where they are.
And also police presence in these neighborhoods. and police empowerment in these neighborhoods to have their authority respected. You talk to police officers again, and they will tell you because they don't have the backing of the civilian political authorities, the gangbangers know that. These are not unsophisticated people, and they know they've got the run of the place. Big cultural difference. Rick on the west side.
Yeah, good morning, Dan and Amy. Listen, it's frustrating that these politicians can do whatever they want to do, one example would be the Dan Ryan's interstate highway. And if they shut that down, there's a law impeding commerce. I'm surprised that nobody mentioned this. You got a lot of trucks traveling on that highway with perishable goods on it. They can't afford to be tied up for a couple hours like that.
It's one of the country's busiest expressways.
Thanks for the call, Rick. Yeah, so now will they do permitting for other groups that want to assemble on the Dan Ryan or one of the expressways? Can we get permits for that?
Well, if it's a group that's, part of their constituency.
Why not?
For Mayor Emanuel, I'm sure he'll just let them do whatever they want.
The expressways are public places for demonstrations like Daly Plaza.
And I understand why they were protesting. We all get that. It's not that we're not compassionate, but to inconvenience thousands of people, it's ridiculous.
They're more against violence than you are.
There was a plan in place, and Governor Rauner even took Mayor Emanuel to task for it, saying, I'm disappointed, tweeting this. And the mayor, there was an agreement. I'm calling on the mayor to take swift and decisive action to put an end to this kind of chaos.
Yeah. Politicians arguing about the logistics of this spectacle. There's people with their eye on the prize. Yeah. There's people serious about interdicting violence. Greg in Northlake.
Good morning, guys. Love the show. Hey, I think we learned in the last election cycle that words matter, I think we got to pay attention to what he actually said. He said he wants to equalize the south and west side. He didn't say he want to raise them up. I think somebody needs to challenge him to define exactly what he means by equalize, because the policy of this state is just focused on bringing the rest of us down.
Well, thanks for the call, Greg. I mean, equalize, we'd actually be taking money out of those neighborhoods relative to the money that's spent by government in those neighborhoods. Think of the school systems, policing, et cetera. We'd actually be taking money out if you want to equalize it. But of course, that's not what he's talking about. I think, though, I'm serious. Pfleger should run for mayor. He should be the mayor. Should install him. If nothing else, and there's nothing else that he offers, he exposes the abject cowardice of C-suiters and the self-styled civic leaders on the lakefront and the wannabe tough guy Pauls like Tiny Dancer. He exposes them all, and that's what this weekend did yet again. And they're all in the scam. I mean, he's just another thief in the den, is Pfleger. Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning. Yet another Pfleger stunt. Maybe if he wore big shoes and a rubber nose,
Maybe jumped over
the clown
buses
that he
or
is in front of that. I think it's unfortunate that Rahm Emanuel is in on all of the silliness, but are we surprised? Maybe for the next stunt, I'm hoping that Pfleger listens, is maybe to get into O'Hare. And why not line up a couple thousand people across a couple of runways, see how far he gets on that? Because I think with the Illinois State Police opposing the Chicago police, who are taking their marching orders from the little puke in City Hall, Rahm, and the Chicago police acquiescing to Rahm and saying, well, we support peaceful protest as well. When's the last time blocking interstate highways, peaceful protest? Try that at O'Hare and see how far they get. See how far inside the fence they get.
Thanks, Ralph.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Hungry? Who wants to buy a 6-year-old cheeseburger? Guess how much it costs. But first, here's your forecast. Hot and humid today. Plenty of sunshine. 70 degrees right now at O'Hare, going up to 92. Tonight, a low of 72 degrees. And for tomorrow, we're going to have some clouds, then sun. Less humid by the afternoon. A high in the mid-80s. Let's get straight into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's the one and only Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Well, the inbound Ryan is open now, and it's fairly usual. 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound fine at 15 minutes. Edens, 20 minutes, like Hook to Junction. Outbound 26. Kennedy, 40 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. A little heavier in the express, but outbound really rough. A lot of O'Hare traffic. An hour and 4 minutes downtown to the airport. Eisenhower, 58 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 45. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound, it's 40 minutes. Northbound tri-state delays are from 95th to 31st and from the Reagan Joy to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial from Boughton to Roosevelt. Near North Side, North Avenue still shut down from Larrabee and Vine after an early morning wreck and ongoing investigation. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
It's back. The MyPillow buy one, get one free offer back for the month of July. And if you haven't bought your MyPillow, here's another chance to save big. And guess what? Even our 45th president mentioned he sleeps on a MyPillow. Mike Lindell, the MyPillow guy, was at his rally in Fargo last month, and the president recognized him and endorsed MyPillow on national TV. I love MyPillow because I can move the fill to get the support I need, whether I sleep on my back or side. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. I'm sure President Trump doesn't either. MyPillow, made in America, washable, dryable, has a 10-year warranty on that bad boy and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for this great deal and others, including 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress topper, my favorite, the pet bed. There's sheets that I love. Just find it all at MyPillow.com. When you check out, type Amy in that promo code or call 800-489-0201. Tell them Amy sent you.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Are you facing foreclosure, been foreclosed upon, in a bad modification, or just stuck in a bad mortgage? Well, we may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. We defend foreclosure actions. We bring claims against the banks and the servicers for wrongful foreclosure and other violations of mortgage servicing regulations. And we help people negotiate modifications of their existing mortgages, often including principal reductions. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, and advice regarding your options.
Hi, this is Rayanne from Lou Bridges & Associates. I am one of the loan modification processors here, and if you are in need of any additional information in regard to a loan modification, please contact the office.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Matt in Oak Lawn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey guys, good morning. Question I have is the liability charge guys.
with this charade on Saturday. And I actually called Cardinal Saturday morning, and I just expressed some displeasure in a voicemail, of course, about what if someone gets hit by a car and sues the Archdiocese for millions of dollars? Is that the money that my wife and I give to the church on Sunday morning? We're not going to give money to cover that lawsuit. It's just an utter frustration when he comes out and tells them to be bold and undaunted. Curious what your thoughts on that are, Dan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of what Cardinal Cupich had to say on the topic, and it's interesting, too, all of his fellow travelers on the left, Cupich saying he applauds the courage shown by young people in our city across the country demanding their right to life and human dignity given by God, guaranteed by our nation's founders. They make us proud, they give us hope, and so on and so forth. Maybe you could invite Father Flager and all of those folks and all of his leftist political friends to a private screening of that new Gosnell movie, since he's so focused on the right to life, is Cardinal Cupich. Thanks for the call, Matt. And also, too, the financing you talked about.
Because the buses that were rented to bring the protesters there.
Yeah, well, and just the public resources that were devoted to ensuring the safety of motorists and protesters alike.
Yeah, Chicago police officers. I know that somewhere on furlough they got called back in.
By the way,
all the IDOT workers, we had to use their trucks to keep, the cars off or to make sure that they didn't hit the people. And it was a lot of tax dollar burdens going on Saturday.
And just speaking of public safety, a good gal with a gun story. Mm-hmm. Did you see this? A man at a Milwaukee George Webb restaurant. He's upset with the waitress because his order is taking too long. He walks back into the kitchen. He cold cocks the woman, punches her in the face.
He hit the cook, not the waitress. But yeah, okay, go on.
Oh, thanks for it's good advice. Another waitress standing right behind her had concealed carry.
Yeah.
She pulls out a gun from her waistband and ends that confrontation. He leaves the restaurant. Police are now looking for him. He's a known drug dealer in Milwaukee.
And he was hangry that day.
Good gal with a gun story.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, it's time, it's coming, it's rocking for the troops. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 71 degrees. There are now reports that 8 boys have been brought out of that flooded cave in Thailand. Divers rescued 4 yesterday. More than 2 weeks after members of that soccer team and coach were trapped in that popular cave complex. The clock is ticking as President Trump is set to announce his newest Supreme Court nominee tonight. The president has reportedly narrowed his field. Federal Appeals Court judges Brett Kavanaugh, Raymond Kethledge, Thomas Hardiman, and Amy Coney Barrett. President Trump's top advisor on choosing a nominee says he's not concerned about any conservative pushback against the president's shortlist.
Every potential nominee before announcement gets concerns expressed about them by people who might ultimately support them. People aren't always familiar with their records. Sometimes people say things about one nominee because they favor another.
On ABC's This Week, Leonard Leo. Police in Britain opening a murder investigation into the death of a woman and her boyfriend exposed to the same nerve agents used in the poisoning of an ex-Russian spy. Dawn Sturgis died on Sunday after being hospitalized on June 30th. Japan's government says Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is canceling his planned mid-July trip to Europe and the Middle East. He'll oversee the emergency response to deadly heavy rains that have killed 103 and left 80 unaccounted for in the hard-hit area of Hiroshima. Mayor Emanuel heading to Asia this week. He'll meet with business leaders while a tariff war is underway between the U.S. and China. A Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio LaGreer and Betty Jones in 2015 is set to go on trial today in a separate case. Officer Robert Rialmo faces 2 counts of misdemeanor battery. Cubs beat the Reds in 10 innings, 6-5. Astros over the White Sox 2-1 in Houston. The news, a service of Aruba Tourism. Imagine if your daily commute was from your beach chair right to the crystal blue Caribbean Sea. It's time for an escape to sunny Aruba. Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at Aruba.com. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. Can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Got an email last night from a lady in Florida who doubted my sincerity about Relief Factor until she tried it. She tried Relief Factor. In her case, it took her almost 3 weeks, and she woke up pain-free. Relief Factor was the answer she's been looking for. This makes my 60 seconds to tell you about Relief Factor some of the happiest times of my day, because I know people are going to get the relief that they've been craving. You can get all the pain relief benefits of Relief Factor without the negative side effects of ibuprofen or prescription drugs. Physicians created Relief Factor as a crucial way to support the body's fights against aches and pains. So no matter your age, maybe you're just too sore after a great workout at the gym, or if you're like me and you're of a certain age and you want to start dealing with the aches and pains of life, give Relief Factor a try. The 3-week quick start is $19.95. Try it for 3 weeks. It's $19.95. Decide if it's for you or not. ReliefFactor.com. ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-500-8384. 800-500-8384. Relief Factor.
7:35. Let's get a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Tri-State Tollway delays are northbound from 95th to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Reagan Tollway slow from Highland to the Tri-State, and the northbound Veterans Memorial from Belton to St. Charles to North Avenue to 290. Edens is 20 minutes like Cook to Montrose outbound 29. Kennedy, inbound delays start at Foster, 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, heavier in the express, now about an hour and 4 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, 390 to downtown, it's 57 minutes, outbound 52. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic, service of Cook County Treasurer. Attention Cook County homeowners, Cook County property taxes are due August 1st. You can pay for free at cookcountytreasurer.com. No lines, no stamps, no checks, no cash. Easy, simple, so you can get on with your day. Pay for free at cookcountytreasurer.com. That's cookcountytreasurer.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, a hot and humid day ahead, plenty of sunshine. High of 92. Clouds and humid overnight, low 72. We'll have clouds in the morning, breaking for a less humid afternoon with sunshine and a high of 85. Currently 71. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
She's 5'3", leaning mean.
All right, that's a little country music courtesy of Randy Weaver, who's going to be performing at the Rockin' for the Troops concert this Saturday, July 14th.
Yes, Ryan Weaver, I can't wait.
Northwestern Medicine Field, that's where the Kane County Cougars play, of course, in Geneva, Illinois. Part of the lineup that includes Ayla Brown and others. This is in support of Operation Support Our Troops, a nonprofit that supports military families that we here at AM 560 have been affiliated with, partnered with on a number of events because they do such great work. And Ryan Weaver's got a really compelling story in particular on this topic. Ryan Weaver and his family have given a lot to this country. He is a member of a Gold Star family who has served our country in the military. And I'll let him tell his story and talk about his music as well, because we're pleased to have Ryan Weaver joining us now. Ryan, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning from Nashville, Tennessee. How y'all doing up
Oh,
there?
there you go. There,
bragger.
yeah. Well, the epicenter of country music. Where else would you be? There you go. Well,
Absolutely.
We're looking forward to having you in town on Saturday, but people should know your backstory in addition to your music, and so just a little bit of your family's military service to this country.
Well, I am one of three, actually four brothers. We'll say four brothers that flew helicopters in the Army. I was a Black Hawk helicopter pilot. I had two brothers that were Kiowa helicopter pilots, and my brother-in-law was a Black Hawk helicopter pilot as well. And Aaron, one of my brothers, my actually only full-blood brother, and I were deployed to Iraq in 2003/2004, and on January 8th of 2004, he was killed in the back of a medevac helicopter that was shot down. And then my brother-in-law, Randy, was killed in 2013 on December 17th when the Black Hawk he was piloting was shot down in Afghanistan. And I mean, essentially, when in the 2004 when I was deployed there and all that happened, I realized life was passing me by. So I decided to start chasing this dream of country music. I had actually done some singing and karaoke competitions prior to that and was winning and was writing in Iraq as well. So I started going after this, and it's been an incredible journey so far.
No, what's your musical background?
I honestly, I started doing singing competitions and karaoke competitions in flight school in 2000, and I realized it was something that I could actually do and that I loved, and I was winning. It was a late. I don't have your typical country music story that I started playing country music when I was 3 years old and picked up a guitar and doing all that. I really didn't. I'd sang in plays and those kind of things, and that did performances back when I was a kid, but I didn't really realize it was something I could do until later on in life. And once I started winning those competitions and helping pay bills while I was going through flight school, I really started loving it. It was incredible.
And was your big break, as it were, associated with professional bull riding?
I've actually had a couple big breaks. I started working with the Charlie Daniels Camp back in 2014 when Crank It, the song you just heard, the music video is out on national television on the Heartland Network. And it was the Nashville Network turned Heartland Network and on Zeus Country, and all self-funded, all self-done, no record label, no management, no nothing. But the Charlie Daniels Camp brought me on for a little bit, and I got to perform at the Ryman Auditorium, then at Bridgestone Arena on the Grand Ole Opry in 2015. And then we released a music video called Burn, to my song called Burn, to national television. That had Chris Peranto and John Tigan, that's Tonto and Tig from 13 Hours, two of the survivors from Benghazi. And then Paramount gave us authorization to use the movie trailer clips in the video, and that was out on national television as well. And I was performing a show out in Colorado, a veterans event in Colorado, and the CEO of the PBR was in the front row and the sponsor of it. And came up, gave me a business card and said, "Hey, we got some things going on. I work with the PBR." Didn't really tell me who he was. And we had a bunch of folks that I was talking to at the same time. And I went back to my boss and saw there was a CEO, and then he signed me on as the patriotic voice of the PBR in 2017. I replaced Steven Tyler as the headliner at the World Finals in T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, which was an incredible experience for me to sing to my first sold-out arena and have them sing a song that they didn't know, but I taught it to them at the beginning, and they were all singing it back to me. And this year we started off in Madison Square Garden, and I've been performing at all the arenas around with them this year. It's been incredible.
That's great.
Yeah.
In the Midwest, we say PBR, we think Pabst Blue Ribbon, but
right.
Yeah, but okay,
Right.
all right.
Now, your brother Aaron, who died. Tell us about him for those of us who don't know him.
Well, Aaron was in the actual ambush in Mogadishu that Black Hawk Down was portrayed after. He was one of the Rangers on the ground. He's interviewed in the History Channel interviews when they talk about the making of Black Hawk Down. He was an American superhero. He was a cancer survivor. He was non-deployable and got a waiver to be deployed to go to Iraq. And he had to get bi-monthly blood screenings in accordance with that waiver. And he was on his way to one of those bi-monthly blood screenings in the back of a medevac helicopter when it was shot down and everybody on board was killed. And, he's been my inspiration. I wear his dog tags. Folks that come out to the show see him wearing his honor tags. And along with my oldest brother, Steve, who is actually currently deployed with a civilian company flying helicopters for the government. But and then Randy's, and they're all back to back because we got each other's backs. But I followed in his footsteps my entire military career, with exception of going to the Ranger Regiment because I love to eat and sleep, and I wasn't as hardcore as he was. I went military intelligence prior to flight school, but he's been my inspiration, and I've been driving since. And we've got so many huge things that are on the horizon for next year already. And had I not had him in my corner, I don't know where I would be as far as the desire to keep going in the country music business, because it's a tough business. But I love every second of the ride, and having him in my corner is an absolute inspiration.
So we know he's your inspiration on a personal level, military level. What about country music? Who are the country music stars you grew up listening to that you, maybe try and emulate in some way?
So when folks come out to see the show, there's an awesome lineup here for this one, and it's called Rockin' for the Troops. And my show is 80s. My country music is 80s rock infused with country music. Ooh. Because I grew up listening to Bon Jovi,
sure,
Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses, Metallica. I grew up listening to that stuff. And I really started listening to country music in the 90s when Garth Brooks was getting huge. I don't know if you remember when he sold out Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City back to back. I think it was 10 shows back in the 90s. As soon as the tickets went on sale, he just kept selling it out. And he said, I'm just gonna keep selling tickets at the arena or the stadium until they don't sell out a show. And I think he sold 10 shows out before he stopped selling. But Garth Brooks is a huge inspiration as far as his performances are concerned. Travis Tritt, one of the best vocalists I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
He's absolutely incredible. I mean, and Charlie Daniels, being his age, doing what he does, a lot of folks don't realize if they have never seen a Charlie Daniels show, he's an incredible entertainer. But he's also one of the best huggers you're ever going to find.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Are you handing out hugs
I'd love
too?
a hug from Charlie Daniels. There's no question.
Or Ryan Weaver.
And by the way, just don't make the Garth Brooks mistake of doing that alter ego Chris Gaines thing. You don't want to do that.
There are a couple artists. That are out there doing that. And I got to be honest with you. For me, it's the best thing about the PBR bringing me on board. I didn't have to change who I am. I didn't have to change my music. They signed me to a single song album record deal with them. I didn't have to change my look. I did change my cowboy hat. I went to a little bit more of a traditional cowboy hat, but Larry Mahan, one of the most famous cowboys of all time, gave me one of his hats. So I was happy about that. But that's the only thing I had to change about me, really. And it's been, when folks come out to watch the show, they're going to see a genuine. Hopefully by the time that they get done watching the show, they'll think that, hey, I could be up there doing that if they have a dream to go after it. Because, like I said, I don't have a typical story in country music by any stretch of the imagination. So.
Yeah, but you have an amazing story, though, too.
Do you get free bull rides? Do you get to ride the bulls, too, or no?
I do a lot of the PR ahead of time for these events, and they pair me up with a bull rider. I'm telling you right now, they get folks like you to get on those bulls in the chutes. I won't do it. I spent enough dangerous time in the Black Hawk. That was good for me.
Baby.
But I see, man, I'm gonna tell you, you can say whatever you want to. All it takes is those 2,000-pound bull just deciding it doesn't want me there.
Oh, that's fun.
And, yeah.
If Luke,
those are good times.
If Luke Perry can do it, you can do it. Come on. Maybe a little Hollywood magic. All right, he is Ryan Weaver, Rockin' for the Troops concert this Saturday, July 14th, this Saturday, Northwestern Medicine Field, where the Kane County Cougars play. It's a great concert venue in addition to ballpark. And we'll have more information all week and ticket giveaways so that you can see Ryan Weaver in the full lineup on Saturday. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for your service and your family's service to our country, and we'll see you Saturday.
I really appreciate it. And everybody can check out my Facebook page at Ryan Weaver Country, or go to weavercountry.com and get all my socials.
Great. weavercountry.com. Thanks, Ryan.
And Ryan joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
And again, concert is this Saturday. This Saturday, get your tickets for Rockin' for the Troops. And how can we do that, Dan?
Just go to, remember, it's Operation Support Our Troops is the organization. So OSOT, OSOTAmerica.org. OSOTAmerica.org.
OSOTAmerica.org, and get your Rockin' for the Troops tickets and see Ryan Weaver. Hot and humid today, but plenty of sunshine. Right now, we have 71 degrees going up to 92. Humid tonight, a low of 72. And for tomorrow, some clouds, sun, breezy, less humid by the afternoon. Beautiful day, a high of 86. Let's get into the Alarm Detection System Traffic Center. Here is the one and only Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Dan at Antioch, 173 is blocked between 83 and McMillan. Got a malfunctioning rail crossing. Kennedy inbound, holding it 40 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, but a bit heavier in the express. Outbound 18 minutes to Montrose, about an hour and 2 minutes to the airport. It's congested at O'Hare this morning. 8 and 20 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 29. Eisenhower, 57 minutes, 390 to downtown, 40 from Manheim. Outbound 52 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 44 minutes. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State, we now have southbound delays. Dempster to the Bensonville Bridge, pretty long jam. Northbound, 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway, Slow Highland to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial, Mountain to St. Charles, and North Avenue to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Turnkey IT knows that computer networks and all things IT are the vital heartbeat of any company. However, keeping up with hardware and software to hiring and managing IT staff can be costly and time-consuming. But there is a different solution. Now your business can have a full-time IT department for only $795 a month. That's what Turnkey IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site and remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, antivirus, and so much more. Plus, new hardware every 4 years where you can hire a reliable and highly capable employee for less than $10K per year. You don't have to with Turnkey IT. From one person to 200 employees, it's easy and affordable with Turnkey IT. You run your business, they'll handle the technical stuff. So visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
A glass of wine on the patio at day's end. Laughter from your teens and their friends gathered around the crackling fire of your new fire pit. This is the private oasis that AM Woodland Outdoor Design can create for you. Your outdoor space should be a reflection of your family's personality and a true extension of your home, not just a place to set your grill and furniture. A well-designed and constructed outdoor space can add significant value to your home and bring endless days of enjoyment. Spend more time together as a family, entertain friends, or just have a personal sanctuary to relax and de-stress. The expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process. They provide quality service with the utmost integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com. Or call 847-224-2167.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's good news. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Qualifying for this program will resolve your tax problem, end all collections, and possibly reduce your back taxes by up to 90%. If you are facing wage garnishments, liens, bank levies, audits, or payroll taxes, it's not too late. Your circumstances may qualify you for this special program, protecting your savings and your assets. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's no need to worry anymore. Call the hotline at Victory Tax Solutions to see if you qualify and potentially save thousands. For this free information, call 800-813-1105. 800-813-1105. That's 800-813-1105.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Sheet metal is a big part of commercial and industrial facilities. Look around your business and you'll quickly notice how many components use sheet metal. From fan systems and hoods to machinery guards and much more. For top quality sheet metal work, get to know the pros at Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial sheet metal contractor that can fabricate all types of alloys up to 1-inch plate. We perform jobs including chutes, hoppers, stacks, siding, and dust collection. We work in material handling facilities including steel, chemical, agricultural, food processing plants, and more. Vans Industrial can also design and perform the engineering for a complete turnkey installation. Our quality work is installed by trained mechanics who will work closely with you to make sure the job is done right.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. There's a lot of strange people in positions of power the world over. One of them is Rodrigo Duterte, who's the president of the Philippines now.
Is he still executing people who are drug dealers?
Yes.
Or has he calmed down a little?
It's been described that there have been a lot of suspects that have been killed in clashes with police. Usually also Duterte on site for some of those clashes and ordering said executions. Problematic. No, the
Trial or
Philippines is a very Catholic country.
It is, but then there's Muslims in certain islands. There's a lot of Muslims in the Philippines.
Okay, but generally speaking, it's a very Catholic country.
Right.
And so it's a curious thing that Duterte did in a speech during the opening of a science and technology event in a southern city there. Where is the logic of God there? He questioned the basic tenets of Catholicism, including the concept of original sin. And then he went on to say, if there's one single witness who can prove the existence of God, who's able to talk and to see God, he will immediately resign his office. So, okay, St. Thomas Aquinas, St. Anselm, you're up. Yeah. And Manny Pacquiao can't come soon enough.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How Debbie Wasserman Schultz's IT guy, Awan, got a walk from Department of Justice at 8:08.
But first, let's go into the newsroom, check up with headlines here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Officer Rialmo set to face trial again today for a restaurant fight. We'll have details on that for you. Crews at the scene of a large blaze in the back of the yards early this morning. The governor and mayor squabbling over a peace march. Cubs beat the Reds in extras, while the Astros trim the White Sox, and the Bulls keep a potential free agent. Hot and humid day today with plenty of sunshine, a high of 92. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
More rescues from that cave in Thailand. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The day after the first 4 trapped boys were pulled out alive, a 5th was rescued and perhaps 3 more. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring it all live from London.
Dave, another 3 ambulances with flashing lights seen leaving the cave complex in the past few hours. It's evening time in Thailand now, as rescuers undertake the second phase of a dangerous and dramatic effort to free the boys. It's understood 2 divers are accompanying each of the children as they dive their way through dark, tight, winding passages. None of the boys have any diving experience. The mission commander confirms the 4 boys rescued yesterday are doing well in the hospital. Dave?
Simon, a Trump tweet this morning is about his big announcement tonight. He wrote, he's long heard the most important decision a U.S. president can make is the selection of a Supreme Court justice.
Republicans are holding 4 lottery tickets, and all of them are winners.
GOP Senator Lindsey Graham likes all the finalist candidates, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, Raymond Kethledge, and Thomas Hardiman. Most Democrats oppose all of them, and Senator Dick Durbin told NBC.
If John McCain is absent, it's a 50-49 Senate. 1 Republican senator can decide the fate of any Supreme Court nominee.
Swing votes in both parties being courted by the other side. We will provide live coverage of the 9 p.m. Eastern Time announcement for our stations and at foxnewsradio.com. Harvey Weinstein's arrived in a New York City court to be arraigned on charges involving a 3rd woman among the dozens who accuse him of sexual misconduct.
The updated indictment alleges the Hollywood mogul performed a forcible sex act on a woman in 2006. Weinstein expects to be fully vindicated in the crimes, according to his lawyer, Ben Brafman, who says any actions were consensual.
Fox's Michelle Polino, a 2-year-old boy, is dead in Houston after he found a loaded gun yesterday in his home and shot himself in the head. Police looking into possible charges for the parents. On Saturday, a 4-year-old accidentally killed himself in Augusta, Georgia. His dad was charged. Fox News, fair and balanced.
In Chicago, sunny skies, 71 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Mayor Emanuel winging his way to Asia this week to meet with business leaders while a trade and tariff discussion is very loudly being undertaken between the U.S. and China. The Tribune says the mayor's planning to visit at least one Chinese business that has a high-dollar contract with the CTA to manufacture train cars. Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones in 2015 set to go on trial today, but in a separate case. Officer Robert Rialmo faces 2 counts of misdemeanor battery. Firefighters mopping up at the scene of a huge blaze this morning in the back of the yards neighborhood near 53rd and Wood. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner is calling the shutdown of a Chicago interstate by anti-violence protesters unacceptable. The Republican saying in a tweet he was disappointed in Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, and he called on Emanuel to take swift and decisive action to put an end to this kind of chaos. Authorities are investigating after members of a Chicago AAU basketball team got into a fight with referees in Georgia. Video posted to Twitter shows players on the Raw Athletics basketball team brawling with the refs during a game in Atlanta yesterday. Cubs beat the Reds in 10, 6-5. Astros trimmed the White Sox 2-1 in Houston, a hard luck loss for Lucas Giolito. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Nissan has found evidence of emissions and mileage cheating in its cars. The 19 models were all sold in Japan. They were found to have misconduct at the inspection stage. The reports were based on altered measurements. Nissan says the issue did not compromise safety. Biopharma company Constellation Pharmaceuticals is going public. It will sell more than 5 million shares, priced at $14 to $16. Constellation's working on treating cancers caused by genetic flaws or drug resistance. Boeing could be receiving a big new order. Reuters says Saudi Arabian Airlines is exploring ordering wide-body jets from Boeing. The number of jets has not been revealed, and Boeing is not commenting. The Dow was up 99 on Friday. NASDAQ gained 101, S&P up 23. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
It is 8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
That wouldn't be Chuck Schumer in 2014, would it be?
People who enter the United States without our permission are illegal aliens, and illegal aliens should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally.
I have a question. I've asked this before. It is a rhetorical question. Do you honestly believe if 80% of illegals turned citizens turned voters would likely vote Republican, we'd have this problem?
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
.806 and a check of the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike Kennedy. Inbound delays are from Montrose to Randolph. It's 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 32 from Montrose, 36 on the express lanes. Outbound 20 minutes to Montrose and 48 to O'Hare. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 34. Eisenhower looking at a travel time of 58 minutes, 390 to downtown. We have a report of a stall past St. Charles in the left lane. It's 35 minutes from Manheim to the Circle. Outbound 55 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 9 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38 minutes. Ryan, 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State bottled up from Dempster to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial delays. Fountain to St. Charles and North Avenue to 290. Southbound North Avenue to Roosevelt. Traffic service of Aruba Tourism. The one happy family on one happy island. Vacation in sunny Aruba with accommodations to fit every family size and budget. Hop a daily non-stop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your happy escape to Aruba today at Aruba.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, hot and more humid with a full day of sunshine. High 92. Humid tonight with patchy clouds, low 72. Some clouds, then sunshine tomorrow, high 86. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and this is just a bizarre case. We've covered it intermittently over the last year or so, but this is the case of Imran Awan, who's a former systems administrator for Todd Christensen, a.k.a. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and many other Democrats on the Hill. He was arrested last year, about this time last year, when he tried to leave the country, ostensibly to return to Pakistan.
Oh, that's right.
He was taken into custody at Dulles Airport.
Didn't he have bags of cash on him or a suitcase full of cash?
Well, he had pled guilty to bank fraud involving withdrawing hundreds of thousands of dollars by lying on a mortgage application, pretending to have medical emergency. That was, and then he wired the money to Pakistan in January. He wasn't picked up until July when he tried to flee. But there's all kinds of other issues with his time as a IT guy for Wasserman Schultz and many other Democrats on the Hill that include unauthorized accessing of members of Congress, of the computers of members of Congress, and ultimately the files. And you have somebody who is sent family over to Pakistan and was in the process of fleeing there himself. So this has sort of been chalked up as a guy who was the caricature from the D.C. press corps. There's a guy who's like kind of money hungry and was trying to manipulate people in the system just to enrich himself. But obviously, if you're accessing records you're not entitled to access, you're talking about members of Congress with various security clearances, the exposure is potentially much more significant. And yet last week, Jeff Sessions, his Department of Justice, President Trump's Department of Justice, gave Awan a walk.
What?
And we need to understand why that might be. The person who's probably covered this with the most painstaking detail, even where the D.C. press corps has assiduously attempted to pay no mind, is Luke Rosiak from the Daily Caller, dailycaller.com. And Luke joins us now. Luke, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
In your latest piece on the topic, reporting on this pass that Awan is getting from DOJ, you break it down nicely in terms of kind of the two categories of issues. One, cybersecurity issues, and then secondly, theft-related issues. Why don't we start with the cybersecurity issues and just kind of lay it out for us?
Sure. So this guy started working for Wasserman Schultz around 10 years ago, and there's a limit to how much a congressional employee can make. I mean, a staffer can't make more than a member. So it seemed like he was making way more than any other IT guy. He's making like $165,000 a year. And then after that, he started adding his entire family to the payroll, which seemed to be a way to circumvent that cap. So before you know it, you've got these 6 Pakistani guys plus one of their Ukrainian wives. They got all the access to all the files and emails of 1 in 5 House Democrats because of their position as systems administrators. And what they start doing is they log into other people's offices who they don't even work for. And some of these members fired these guys because they noticed problems. Well, guess what? These guys started logging into the people's servers who had just fired them. They're taking data off the House network. They're violating, all the kind of basic IT protocols that you would have, not only in Congress, but even things that any prudent IT person in any small business would do. Basically, it's like the Wild West. I mean, they're logging in all kinds of places. You got data flying everywhere. And all this is going on Capitol Hill. It would blow people's minds, I think, to see how little it was sort of overseen and regulated. And when you look into these guys' backgrounds, not only were they breaking the rules and taking data off the House network, these are guys who have been in a lot of trouble in their lives. I mean, out of the brothers, there's 3 brothers and then a bunch of other relatives. They've got a bunch of criminal convictions. They're Pakistani citizens. They've been repeatedly accused of extortion and blackmail-like behavior in the past, which is obviously what you would be concerned about with people who had access to all this information. They're doing very strange things in Pakistan, sending all kinds of money over there, and they've got this business over in Pakistan, which has also been accused of fraud by all kinds of people. And this guy, Imran Awan, travels with an armed motorcade of government agents in Pakistan. And that's something that hasn't been explained by anyone. So Jeff Sessions, as you said, looked into it and basically gave this guy immunity and said, we've looked into it. We found he didn't do anything wrong in Congress, so we're not going to charge him with anything. And there's just so many unanswered questions here, including why the heck does this guy have an armed motorcade of Pakistani agents?
Well, it still blows my mind that he was able to strike a deal with the Department of Justice. But where is he now? Does he live in Pakistan still, and does still have armed security guards with him?
Well, so he lives in Virginia, and he had basically spent a couple months out of every year in Pakistan, and that's when he would have that protection detail. But he would work from Pakistan, logging in and administering congressional servers. And his former business partner claims that he gave data to Pakistan. I mean, that hasn't been that's a direct on-the-record claim by this guy that knows him really well. So a lot of people hate this guy. They've been double-crossed by him. They think he'll do anything for money. Some of my sources are his, relatives who came to me and said, my God, this guy is an urgent threat. This guy would sell his own mom for a penny. So that's the kind of guy. That's why I started following this very closely since over a year ago. People are very, very concerned about this guy, that he would stop at nothing to get money. How
did his family members, I mean, you're describing their history of run-ins with the law. How do they pass background checks in the first place to be a contractor or an employee of the federal government for members of Congress?
Well, that's one of the interesting things, is that background checks are required, as you would imagine, on Capitol Hill, but all 44 members of Congress, they were all Democrats, they all exempted these guys. Now, if you were you shouldn't exempt anyone, but if you're going to exempt someone, I mean, certainly not Pakistani citizens with no credentials, which I didn't even mention. Imran Awan had IT training. The rest of them didn't even have any experience in IT. So that's something that the Democrats haven't explained. And, I basically reported months ago that they had all exempted them from background checks, and the Democrats refused to address it. And then a few months later, that was confirmed in a hearing in Congress, where now they're talking about, changing those policies and making sure that they can't do that anymore. But the thing is, they were never supposed to do so in the first place.
Well, how in the world did Debbie Wasserman Schultz hire this guy?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and they have an extraordinarily close relationship. They hang out together. Wasserman Schultz's daughter, Imran Awan, has a horse, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz basically brought her daughter over on a regular basis to ride his horse. Apparently Debbie Wasserman Schultz actually chose the name of Imran Awan's daughter. So they're like, they had this, and she gave him a Jewish name. So it's just like this incredibly close relationship in a way that's not at all normal. And this guy, again, I mean, he had full reign of the place. He had access to everything. They weren't monitoring him. And so the Inspector General found that, basically you mentioned that there's two things. There's theft and then hacking. It's kind of like how they got Al Capone for, tax issues, except I'm not trying to minimize the theft, because a theft scheme in Congress is a big deal. Basically, these guys were in charge of ordering hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment, and they were falsifying financial records in ways that made the equipment disappear. Basically, they made everything appear as petty cash, so then it wasn't tracked. And some Democrats said a couple of years ago that, we think we've uncovered a theft scheme. Yvette Clarke from New York, Congresswoman from New York, she had a tenth of her annual budget disappear. So people had been raising the red flags about this guy for a long time and saying, my God, they're stealing from Congress. And that triggered a review that eventually found those cybersecurity issues as well.
Well, if Wasserman Schultz and this Awan guy had such a close relationship, then why does he leave her laptop in a phone booth? I didn't even know they still existed. On Capitol Hill that was ultimately taken by police, and then Wasserman Schultz had that famous or infamous interaction with the Capitol Hill police chief where she was demanding her laptop be returned.
Yeah, that's what you got. I mean, she may like him or may have liked him a few years ago, but you got to wonder whether he actually likes her or whether he's using these people. So basically, after he got caught during the election, and it's interesting because during the election, kind of at the heat of the election between Trump and Clinton, this was going on. There was a massive cybersecurity and sort of Democratic theft/corruption investigation going on Capitol Hill. And they worked very hard to make sure this didn't come out until after the election, if at all. So they punted and they let this guy stay on the network from like July, August, September of 2016 into right after Trump's inauguration. That's kind of when they finally said, all right, they kind of said, we got something going on here. He needs to be kicked off the network. So that whole time, he had access to all this stuff, and he knew that the cops were onto him. So he started freaking out. He started wiring hundreds of thousands of dollars over to Pakistan. He tried to go to the airport with, $12,000 in cash. His wife actually went to the FBI or to the airport with a similar amount of cash. The FBI found the cash and let her leave anyway, which is kind of like raises questions about the FBI's handling of this case.
That's right.
But so finally, he gets kicked off the network and he's banned from the house in February of 2017. He comes into the House office building at midnight, takes Debbie Wasserman Schultz's laptop and leaves it in the phone booth, an old, it's kind of like a cubby that used to be a phone booth. And he puts a piece of paper on top that says attorney-client privilege. So the cops get it, and they realize that he left it there because he left his ID too. And
like
they
spy
use it
novel.
as evidence. And basically, it sets up a situation where he's got all the access. It's kind of, to me, it seemed like a warning shot. I've got your stuff. Don't think I won't release it. So that triggered Debbie Wasserman Schultz's laptop to be in the hands of the DOJ and to be evidence in this case. But it couldn't quite be looked at because of this attorney-client privilege note. And that's when Debbie Wasserman Schultz threatened the Capitol Police with consequences if he didn't give back the evidence in this case.
But he's not her attorney or an attorney, right?
Correct. I mean, he had actually a former Hillary Clinton aide was his attorney. And a very, very aggressive guy, and he really worked through the media to kind of, spin this thing.
I can understand why Democrats would want to bury this because it's so embarrassing and who knows what compromising information he has. Why would Jeff Sessions and Department of Justice take a pass on this guy?
Yeah, that's the key question here is, I mean, one can only speculate. I mean, it's the deep state, it's some of these same issues we've seen with the handling of the Hillary Clinton investigation and how they kind of knew that some things happened there and they chose not to charge. We're seeing similar things here. So it's kind of like, is it just that the FBI has a lot of partisans in it and Jeff Sessions isn't getting the message? Or is Jeff Sessions afraid to anger 44 Democrats because they obviously would have been furious? Does he just not have the backbone? But what's clear is that when they put out the statement saying we looked into it and we didn't find anything wrong, that's not true. The evidence is there, and I don't even think it's that. I think I do know more about this case than the FBI, but I think the FBI is aware of massive evidence, and they didn't prosecute anyway. So that's something that hasn't been explained. And it's even that you can get these guys on paper. There are elements of this case that can be proven by a first-year law student. For example, you have to fill out these ethics disclosures in the House, saying, do you have any conflicts of interest? Do you have any outside income? Well, these guys were running, they had a dozen LLCs, and no one will say what these LLCs did. One of them was a car dealership, a purported car dealership called CIA, and it took $100,000 from an Iraqi government minister. So it seems to be a money laundering vessel to take money from foreign governments.
You're right.
And they didn't disclose this. So that's a felony right there. But somehow Jeff Sessions couldn't or wouldn't prove it.
You're right. This is like a John le Carré spy novel.
Maybe something about him on that computer.
Well, Luke Rosiak, investigative reporter for dailycaller.com. Great reporting. Thank you for joining us and helping to break this down for us. We appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you.
I'm sure a movie about it will be out soon, right? Thanks. And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, did he not know about the team doctor taking showers? But first, here's your forecast. Taking showers with wrestlers at Ohio State. Today, hot and humid, plenty of sunshine, a high of 92 degrees. Tonight, a low of 72. And then tomorrow, clouds, sun, breezy, less humid by the afternoon. Beautiful day, high of 86 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center to a very clean man. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning. Thanks, Dan. Good morning. Not much way to hide from traffic on the southbound tri-state right now from Dempster to the Bensonville Bridge with that ongoing construction. Real mess in that area. Northbound delays are from 95th to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The Adams Tollway's okay. Reagan Tollway a bit tight 22nd to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial slow southbound North Avenue to Roosevelt. Northbound Boughton to St. Charles and North Avenue to 290. Edens is fine inbound, but outbound it's 34 minutes to get to Lake Kennedy. 42 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 46. Eisenhower 56 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 55. Stevenson an hour and 9 minutes, 355 to the drive, and the Ryan 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
We have a 40-year-old daughter with metastatic stage 4 breast cancer, and the reason we needed to refinance is so we can help her. Zach said, yeah, we can do something, and believe me, he's my hero right now. He took enough money out to pay all my taxes, my insurances, everything is now escrowed. I love what he did, and didn't change any of the terms that he said to begin with. Your competitor was like a bad car salesman. Phenomenal job, Zach.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
You work hard to recruit the best talent for your business, so you understand how important benefits are. Today's candidates are looking for more than just insurance and retirement accounts. They want benefits they can use every day and perks that help them achieve that all-important work-life balance. With Veridesk standing desk solutions, you can create the healthy office culture they're looking for, where employees can move more throughout the day, so they're happier, healthier, and more productive. The new Veridesk ProDesk 60 Electric is the perfect way to create your active workspace. It's a commercial-grade electric standing desk that lets you sit or stand with the touch of a button, and it assembles in under 5 minutes with no need for professional installers or labor costs. The ProDesk 60 Electric ships for free, and thanks to our 30-day guarantee, if you don't love it, we'll pick it up for free. To learn how you can try the ProDesk 60 Electric in your office, visit veridesk.com/radio. That's varidesk.com/radio.
AM 560, The Answer.
Real quickly, did you hear about JetBlue, the flight attendants? They are heroes and should be receive an honor from President Trump. They saved a bulldog. There was a French bulldog named Darcy who was a service dog. I can't imagine anybody doing that. On a JetBlue flight from Florida to Massachusetts, and their owners noticed that Darcy was panting heavily, lips turned blue, tongue turned blue, and the two flight attendants jumped into action, provided an oxygen tank. So they put the little mask around Darcy. You got to see it. It's so cute. And then Darcy perked up right away, and Darcy's fine, in case you care. But pugs, bulldogs, you can't check them underneath, and sometimes it's a little precarious to have them with you on board because of the breathing problem.
Yeah. Because they're going the way of the dodo bird. Yeah.
Okay. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, tonight is the night. Let's see who President Trump picks as the next Supreme Court nominee to replace Justice Kennedy. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 72 degrees. There are reports as many as 8 have now been brought out of a flooded cave in Thailand. Divers rescued 4 yesterday. More than 2 weeks after 12 members of that soccer team and their coach were trapped in that cave complex in northern Thailand. President Trump will reveal his Supreme Court pick in a primetime speech tonight. The president will nominate a replacement for retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy. President Trump's top advisor on choosing a court nominee says he's not concerned about conservative pushback against the president's shortlist.
Every potential nominee before announcement gets concerns expressed about them by people who might ultimately support them. People aren't always familiar with their records. Sometimes people say things about one nominee because they favor another.
Leonard Leo on ABC's This Week. Disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein expected to plead not guilty to new sex crime charges. He's being arraigned this morning in Lower Manhattan. Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones in 2015 set to go on trial today, but in a separate case. Officer Robert Rialmo is facing 2 counts of misdemeanor battery stemming from a fight at a Northwest Side restaurant last December. Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill announcing late yesterday he'll address the media this morning regarding recent calls for him to resign over allegations of inappropriate touching. The state's top legal officer will speak with reporters in about 30 minutes in Indianapolis. Authorities are investigating after members of a Chicago AAU high school basketball team got into a fight with referees in Georgia. Video posted to Twitter shows players of the Raw Athletics team brawling with the refs during a game in Atlanta yesterday. Gas prices are up slightly to begin the week. AAA puts the statewide average at $2.95. In Chicago, $3.34. Well, much of the rest of the state, $2.76. Friends and family are mourning the passing of Chicago TV legend host Clinton Gent. He died Saturday at the age of 78. Gent hosted the Chicago version of Soul Train for 9 years in the 1970s. After close friend Don Cornelius moved to the national show in Los Angeles. Cubs beat the Reds in 10, 6-5, while the Astros edged the White Sox in Houston, 2-1. A trio of Cubs and White Sox slugger Jose Abreu are headed to baseball's All-Star Game. The News is a service of Aruba Tourism. Be one happy family on one happy island. Vacation in sunny Aruba with accommodations to fit every family size and budget Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to One Happy Island and plan your happy escape to Aruba today at Aruba.com. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher. The Mike Gallagher Show.
This is the headline at CNN.com. Donald Trump is as popular as he's ever been, parentheses, in one poll. That's the CNN News headline. I've never seen a more biased headline. You know what that one poll is they're referring to? Oh, I don't know, a little organization called Gallup. Oh, my gosh. We are in Crazyville.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Looking for a fun summer vacation idea? Charlottesville in Albemarle County, Virginia is a short and easy trip with daily nonstop flights on 2 airlines from O'Hare. Tour the homes of former Presidents Jefferson, Monroe, and Madison. Sip wine at one of the area's 30-plus wineries. Take a hike in Shenandoah National Park. Dine al fresco at one of the many farm-to-table restaurants. Or stroll down one of the longest pedestrian malls in the country. Plan your trip today at visitcharlottesville.org.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. You're welcome, America. That's not a statement a resident of Illinois gets to make very often with sincerity. But the nation owes a debt of gratitude to 2 Illinoisans who advanced the cause of liberty for millions more Americans through their courage to dissent. Pam Harris and Mark Janis are their names. Pam is the mother of a young man with developmental disabilities who resisted SEIU's attempt to force parents of children with disabilities into its union, literally pitting parents against their children. Pam took her case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in her favor in 2014. That set the table for Mark Janis, a child support specialist for the state of Illinois who challenged his forced membership in and financing of AFSCME. Mark took his case all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in his favor in June. Without Harris, there would have been no Janis. Without Janis, public sector workers in 22 states would still be second-class citizens with respect to their First Amendment rights. Courage begets courage. As I know them both, I can tell you what they would say about the history they've made. Don't worry about remembering our names. Focus instead on emulating our example.
Is your computer slowing down?
Yep, I guess I need a new one.
Wait before you waste your money on a new computer. Go to mycleanpc.com and get a free computer diagnosis. In minutes, you can activate MyCleanPC software to clean out the junk that could be putting your privacy at risk. Unwanted pop-ups, errors, or spam not only slow your computer down, they may allow third parties to track your activities. Go to mycleanpc.com for a free computer diagnostic. Increase your computer speed today with mycleanpc.com.
8:35 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound tri-state, it's heavy from Kedzie to before Cicero, where there's a crash in the right lane. And it's very heavy 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, southbound. It's gummed up from Dempster to the Bensonville Bridge with ongoing construction. Eastbound Reagan Tollway, sluggish 22nd to the tri-state. Southbound Veterans Memorial, slow North Avenue to Roosevelt. Northbound Boughton, most of the way to St. Charles and North Avenue to 290. Edens is fine inbound. Outbound heavy from Montrose, most of the way to Tower. 34 minutes, Montrose to Lakewood. Kennedy, 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 32 from Montrose, 36 in the Express. Outbound 46 to the airport. Eisenhower, you get 58 minutes, 390 to downtown. 35 from Manheim. Outbound 55 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 9 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38 minutes. Ryan is 36 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, a hot and humid day ahead. We'll have plenty of sunshine, though, high of 92. Currently 73. Next news coming up at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Do we have another Penn State, another Michigan State at Ohio State, and this one potentially involving Congressman Jim Jordan? The story that broke over the holiday weekend is about Dr. Jelly Paws, as Richard Strauss was known by some former wrestlers at Ohio State University. 7 former athletes, former nursing students sharing details of alleged sexual misconduct dating back to the 70s against the doctor who killed himself in 2005 and is now only under investigation, describing how they were fondled by him during medical exams, how he ogled naked young men, sometimes showering with athletes multiple times a day for no apparent reason.
All right. When the doctor is showering with the student athletes, that's when you need to say something. But yeah, apparently he'd be in the shower for hours, Dan, with different athletes and, doing the towel game and just being wildly inappropriate.
There are reports that the coach at the time, Russ Hellickson, told the doctor to stop his unbecoming, at minimum, behavior. Other wrestlers said that the coach also expressed concerns to a residential hall administrator about voyeurism at the recreation and training center, where they said Strauss and other older male faculty members, university employees, would go to leer at the athletes in the locker room, showers, and sauna. Getting, so it's like the Chicago public school system. Hellickson, the coach, said in a statement he never ignored abusive wrestlers. He and former assistant coach Jim Jordan, who was there from 86 to 94, was asked about what he knew and when he knew it, if he saw anything, if he failed to address concerns that were raised, allegations that were lodged, as some former wrestlers are accusing him, and he was on Fox on Friday denying it.
It's false. I mean, I never saw, never heard of, never was told about any type of abuse. If I had been, I would have dealt with it. Our coaching staff, we would have dealt with it. These were our student athletes. A good coach puts the interests of his student athletes first. We would have dealt with it if we'd have known about anything that happened. If, in fact, there are victims, they deserve justice. There's an investigation going on. We're going to, I think, meet with them next week. We want the investigation to get to the truth. That's what we need here is the truth.
So there's a couple of wrestlers making accusations that Jordan didn't respond to allegations, and others that are defending Jordan, although they also, according to the AP, acknowledge a culture of inappropriate activity by outsiders at that residential hall I mentioned.
There's 7 former wrestlers who said he knew, including this guy, DeSabato. He was on CNN 3 times the other day.
I know Jim knew about what I call the deviant sexual atmosphere that we were exposed to.
How do you know?
Well, we all had conversations. Jim was more like a big brother than a coach. It was something that we would discuss on a regular basis, mainly with nervous banter, locker room banter.
Yeah. Both DeSabato and this other guy,
which one?
Dinasha Yates, there's some questions about their general integrity. Dinasha Yates served prison time for a $1.8 million fraud scheme, and DeSabato is currently being accused by a widow of a Marine killed in combat in Iraq of intimidating and bullying her over a memorial fund set up in her husband's name. He also
has some beef with Ohio State
University
too.
He was sued for defamation and libel. So I'm
so
not.
They're shady characters.
Yeah, but there's questions about them. I'll say that.
Jim Jordan, the congressman, has taken it one step further. He actually thinks that this might be a conspiracy against them.
You'd have to ask them. I think the timing is suspect from when you think about how this whole story came together after the Rosenstein interview or hearing with this whole talk about the speaker's race. But it is just not accurate. And as I said before, there's conversations in the locker room are a lot different than someone coming up to you and saying there was some kind of abuse. If there had been that, we would have dealt with it. Coach Hellickson would have dealt with it. Our entire coaching staff, we had 5 coaches, we'd have dealt with it.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State, this is under investigation. More than 150 former athletes and witnesses have been interviewed by so far, says the college. And the school has urged anyone with information to come forward and contact the investigators from Perkins Coie, the law firm they hired to handle this matter. So we'll see how this plays out. But of course, against the backdrop of Penn State and Michigan State, against the backdrop of Denny Hastert.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
You look.
Should we ban wrestling?
You look askance at some of these stories, and it's, I don't know, Dr. Jelly Paws.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Well, I know it
Who
is.
called- the
I know it
former
is,
wrestler said that?
but I mean, if they're all acknowledging this culture of inappropriate sexual behavior, then it's kind of one of those Penn State things. You have a cases of willful blindness. Is it just something like I think was the case with Joe Paterno? Like you couldn't even process what was being insinuated. It was so beyond your comprehension. I don't know. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back. Listen, this is completely different than Penn State. Penn State was an adult man with kids. This case at Ohio State involves adult men, 18 to 22 years old.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have your equipment fondled by Mr. Jelly Paws, you transfer to another school. You kick Mr. Jelly Paws and his equipment. You speak up. These are men.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to
They're not
hold the
having
women
sleepovers
accountable
in
and Me Too, I'm going to hold the women accountable and Me Too for the same reason. I'm going to hold these adult men responsible for their own, whatever they could transfer schools, whatever they had to do, they can stop this behavior. We have to empower people, not make them victims.
Well, thanks for the call. I mean, I agree with that to some extent, but to push back a little bit, you got guys that are playing that are wrestling at the Division I level. They're worried about their wrestling careers, their
and their
scholarships, right? And so, do they want to make waves? Do they want to? It's embarrassing can be embarrassing to a guy to say this guy was like sexually coming on to me or sexually assaulted me or abused me in some way. So, I'm not here to designate anyone as a victim, but I also see from their perspective why it's difficult to come forward with these sorts of allegations. I don't think it's not without consequence.
This day and age, it would never happen because people would come forward and people would just think it's strange that the team doctor is showering with the players. It's gross.
Would they come forward? I mean, I don't know that that's obvious. It's still there's still stigma attached to it, and I think you have to recognize that. So you fault the predator.
And he's committed suicide, so.
Charlotte in Arlington Heights.
Hi, does the law firm Perkins and Coie ring a bell?
Yeah, it's where what's his name?
The money from...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think it was the money from the Clinton campaign that went
to the dossier.
Steele dossier to spy on Trump world.
Yeah.
Major Democrat candidates, leaders use that same law firm, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, that's fine, but I mean, that's not so what? I mean, so Perkins Coie's a big firm. I mean, they're not like conjuring up these allegations out of whole cloth against Jim Jordan.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, Charlotte.
I don't know if Charlotte believes you.
Okay. Well, come on.
Mr. Prom.
Yeah, well, let's let the evidence speak for itself rather than concocting conspiracy theories. Bill on the north side.
Hey, good morning. I mean, someone to me inappropriately, I'll nail him in the face. I don't understand. We're talking about wrestlers here. There's this old sicko touching them. Knock him out.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bill. I get it, but again,
everything's on the line. I mean, that's
this isn't somebody in a bar coming up and grabbing you. This is your coach.
A doctor.
There's a doctor. This is the position of authority and some control over your life. I just think you got to be a little bit more understanding of allegations of this nature. Verlon on the south side.
Great call, Holly. I want to deal Holly. I got her back today. I was on the wrestling team in the late 80s, early 90s before I graduated, and there's no way in HE double hockey sticks, no coach or anybody would have fondled me or anybody on the wrestling team. We would have caught them in the parking lot and dealt with them. There's no way at all. So I want to congratulate Holly and back her up.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for the call, Verlon. I mean, we know the cases where you're talking about, what's the difference between an 18-year-old that's a senior in high school and an 18-year-old that's a freshman in college?
Not a lot of difference.
Right. And so we know cases in high school where this has happened. We've talked about the Denny Hastert matter. He was a high school wrestling coach.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I think you have to give a little bit more bandwidth to alleged victims of this stuff. Bob in Waukegan.
Yeah, I'm not sure I give more bandwidth. I understand where you're coming from, but I was a high school wrestler 40 years ago. I weighed 164 pounds, and I bench pressed 285. If that doctor would have touched me, I told him I would break every finger on both hands if he ever touched me again. And if he turned me in and I lost my scholarship, I would turn him in for being a pedophile. End of discussion.
All right. Thanks for the call, Bob.
Needed.
Mark on the south side.
You know what? Neither one of my kids were ever, abused or anything, but both of them played both high school sports and travel sports. And the high school coaches, I'm going to tell you right now, every parent knows this, they're brutal, they're vindictive, they're mean. They could sabotage a kid's career for the future. When it comes to college, they won't play them, they punish them. They have so much power over these kids that they got this, they scared the bejesus out of them, if you will, because my daughter went through it with some of her coaches. I'll wreck your college career, and your parents can't touch me. And they have it in the rules where if your parents even approach them, it's not allowed. It's like considered assault or bullying. It's ridiculous. But that's why a lot of these kids don't come forward.
Thanks for the call, Mark. And here's the thing. Go back to the Michigan State case with that Larry Nassar.
Yeah.
We're talking about Olympic-level athletes. And even he, these predators, they sort of know what they're doing in pursuit of their prey, and so they manipulate people that are otherwise world-class athletes, talented, strong, the parents of these athletes. So you're going to blame like all these were these were still some teenagers, but also adult Olympic athletes with parents involved in their athletic pursuits as well as academic pursuits at Michigan State and the like. And
he earned their trust.
And how many did he get away with?
That we know of.
For how long did he get away with it?
His whole career.
So
he would even, if the parents were in the room, he would even put up towels, a stack of towels, so he could still molest the girls while the parents were in the room and not knowing. He was sick.
People underestimate, I think, how manipulative these sociopaths, these pedophiles are. That's why they're so dangerous and they belong in cages. Frank in Canaryville.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. Thanks for taking my call. Obviously, this problem is systemic, and I used to teach martial art in an after-school program with CPS just recently, and their policy was that there's no way that I could be changing clothes in the same room that these kids were changing clothes in. Where was that policy 40 years ago? Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call. Where's that policy in the last 10 years based on the Chicago Tribune expose on CPS? That's the other thing. If you want to talk about Penn State and Michigan State and now potentially Ohio State, let's talk about CPS again, too, for all those who want to score political points against Jim Jordan. Maybe we'll find out that that is deserved, particularly as he is a possible replacement for Paul Ryan as Speaker of the House if the Republicans control the House or continued leadership in the House Republican caucus. Perhaps we'll find out that he needs to be held accountable, too. I'm open-minded on the topic. I'm not open-minded about the lack of coverage or interest in CPS. What about that? Lee and Hammond.
Yeah, hi. I'm really getting sick of this double standard that goes on in the mainstream media with wall-to-wall coverage of this Jordan case now. In the meantime, like the Awan brothers, that kind of thing's just swept right under the rug. To me, the biggest scandal in this whole country is what's going on with our double-faced government and their media and the collusion that's going on within the deep state between those two organizations to just blow smoke up to the American people. It's sickening already.
All right, thanks for the call.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who've been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
It seems like summer just got started, but you should start thinking about fall, at least when it comes to your child's education. Registration for fall enrollment for grades 7 through 12 is happening now at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, which is now providing young men and women with an outstanding education and preparation for life. There's day boarding or full boarding. I went up to the campus. It is beautiful. It's nestled in a wooded area, 110 acres. As a mom, I trust that if I sent my sons to a military academy, that St. John's Northwestern Military Academy would be the one. It immerses young men and women in a culture of leadership that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual and character development, athletics, and our military tradition, shaping minds since 1884. And again, as a mom, sending our sons to camp for summer camp. Actually, they leave this Sunday, Dan. And that has been sold out. That camp for the summer is sold out. But now think about sending your kids there in the fall. To learn more about fall enrollment or to just schedule a visit, if you have any questions, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
For many folks, Obamacare isn't working. Carriers are dropping coverage, copays are skyrocketing, and penalties for not enrolling are growing. Add to that the hassle of dealing with claims issues and out-of-network roadblocks, and it's easy to see why so many Americans are turning to a different option called health sharing. Full healthcare plans that are saving families thousands a year and without the hassle. But with so many health sharing plans available, how do you find the right one? Easy. At Health Markets. Their free service does all the work searching nationwide health share providers for the plan that's right for your needs and budget. With health sharing, there's no enrollment deadlines, high premiums, or soaring out-of-pocket costs. And they're exempt from the sky-high penalties of the Affordable Care Act. Want a plan with the doctors you love and get coverage for dental and vision? Health Markets can help. Health Markets has helped people enroll in over 3 million plans, and they can help you. Their service is free, so call to learn about all the benefits and savings of health sharing. Call 800-292-7796. That's 800-292-7796. 800-292-7796.
What I suffer from is anxiety, along with depression. But I feel the anxiety triggers depression more times than not. My first experience with HPR was my initial interview. It was welcoming. It felt very good. I saw results pretty much immediately. Even after my first treatment, I felt different than when I came in. I think HPR could work for pretty much anyone. I think that what HPR has done for me was awaken a part of my brain that either stopped working or never worked. I think everybody can benefit from HPR. I'm Alex, and HPR Treatments has helped save my life.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, we know replacing your roof is a big deal and a big decision. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. We would love to do your roof. Why choose Crumweedy to do your roof or roof repairs?
It's all about installation. Our guys are pros. When we install your roof, you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that's up to manufacturer specifications. So your warranty is intact. You'll be happy.
Cost. We give you a good, better, best option. You choose. No high pressure.
We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you.
We do business the right way. We have a special offer that includes free gutters with a new roof. Ask about it. When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. 630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So tonight in prime time, President Trump announces his SCOTUS pick. And
are you having a viewing party at your pie in the sky? There?
I'm not, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because of the great work that Leonard Leo at the Federalist Society has done in putting together the list that the president has used since he was a candidate and that he stuck to as president, and good for him. And this is why infrastructure building is so important, because it sets up an opportunity when you get the right leadership. Leonard Leo explaining what the Federalist Society does.
My goal, first and foremost, has always been to find people to serve on the court who believe in the Constitution as it's written. And that's really ultimately what drives the conservative legal movement. You want judges on the court who understand that the best way to preserve freedom and dignity and prosperity in this country is to have people who are going to interpret the Constitution as it's written and not play politics when they're judges.
And I think we're going to get one of those type of individuals, regardless of who the president picks tonight.
Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. We're back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. where we will break down that Supreme Court nominee. But first, here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 75 WIND, Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
4 more boys no longer stuck.